Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday, July 12th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 94. Coming up on OTB, LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson joins the show at 9:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Oh. Posture.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're having an excellent morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. It's 7 a.m., which means it's time for yet another edition of Off the Bench. Just a few kids having fun, talking sports. T-Bob Hebert, Jake Hester, Mario Jerez, and Taylor Sharp here with you today, as we are every day. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. How are we feeling, boys? Everybody feeling good today? Yeah?
Feel great, man. Made it to Wednesday, almost the weekend.
Okay, it does feel a bit longer. I feel like we had a few weeks in a row there where we were having like random holidays and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, it's a full week for sure. Jake, how are you feeling? Continue to not sleep and deal with newborns and everything. How's that going?
It's going.
Yep.
It's going.
Yep. Take it till you make it.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah.
It is going.
I feel you.
Uh-huh.
It's never, I find that it's never like you can't be at 100%. You just have to try to give the most of what you have during that time, right?
Yeah.
And you keep your head down, and then eventually you emerge like 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months later, and you're back to normal.
Yeah, and then like I look over and my wife, who's going through, more sleep deprived moments, is over there like cooking dinner and doing things, and I'm like, how are you doing that right
Yeah,
now?
it's also a good technique too
Yeah.
to keep pumping up the wife as well. It's good. It's good.
I mean, she's. I don't know. She had like the 5 a.m. feeding. I don't know if she's up right now.
No, we'll see. But it's a good technique nonetheless. Always, just good life advice for you two back there to know, boys. Taylor, how are you feeling today? Feel well? You excited for some more country music today?
Dude, I'm fired up. I got like a whole playlist ready to go.
Oh my God,
excited.
yes.
I got a surprise for you on Friday that I'm going to bring to the studio. So excited about that as well.
Okay,
So good day. A little
okay.
hot in here though, right?
A little warmer than usual.
Like usually I'm cold. Like I woke up this
Typically,
morning, I was sweating.
it's like a meat
Yes.
locker in here.
Yes.
And not because it's 4 dudes, but because it's cold.
The only thing, I know you should have called attention to the joke, but that was really good. I'm very proud of you. That was really fantastically done. Secondly, yes, the only thing, great job, Taylor. The only thing less interesting to people than general weather talk is specific room weather talk that nobody else can even relate to.
It's warm in here.
I'm just kidding. I've talked about this plenty of times publicly in the past. I know we all make jokes about weather talk, and I see why, but we're all thankful for the common experience of weather, right? Like, it's not the most skillful of icebreakers or conversational touchstones when you're talking to strangers, but it is a fallback. It's better than the awkward silence. If it's an elevator ride, like, it's exactly what you need to get you to the 7th floor. It is a truth of humanity, and we should be thankful for it.
Should we make something else the norm though? Like, should we try to put something else out there? I don't know that there's anything else, because like if somebody's wearing something, you're like, oh, it's a great outfit. They think that maybe you're trying to hit on them or something. I don't know.
Complimenting, I find complimenting, maybe there's the rogue element where every now and then somebody could react poorly, but no, I think you're exactly right, actually. I think that would be the better way to handle it, would just be to, instead of making generic general conversation, just compliment the person. Because think about it. you feel good when somebody tells you that you look good. It doesn't matter if, like, you tend to believe them. Like, they could be lying and just saying it, like Jake said, to make conversation, but it does tend to put that little extra pep in your step. It's a little extra spring. So no, I think complimenting is great.
I'm gonna try it in Nashville.
In the elevator?
Yeah, I'm trying the elevator.
That's a good idea. All elevator rides, we will only give compliments.
Yeah.
That will be a national rule for next week. In terms of replacing weather with others, it's interesting in that it kind of depends on where you're at too. If you're in your home, your region, like here, you can always throw something out about the Tigers, right? Like, I cannot tell you how many times, like, how about that baseball team, huh, boys? And then, you do a few sentences and, okay, have a great day. So that's why eventually you zoom all the way out, and that's when you have to go to weather because it's the only thing that you and that person actually have.
Yeah, sports is always a good segue. I like when people are wearing like other teams' colors. Like if somebody's wearing like a Phoenix Suns hat, you're like, oh, Bradley Beal, like big acquisition. What you think? And then they like that you're interested in their team.
Yeah,
good
it
conversation.
Actually gets to kind of my favorite thing about sports in general is that through playing sports, not just watching, but through watching everything else. Yeah. I guess it's like any shared passion. It's just that sports are so big that a lot of us share it, but it just brings people together that otherwise would never hang out. The eclectic crowds that we get out at places like Don Juan, thinking about teammates that I played with throughout my life, where you end up playing, like you visit vistas you would have never seen, you hang out with people you would have never met otherwise, and you get really close. I mean, some of these people end up becoming some of your best friends. And, so that communal aspect, you're right, Mar, that is one of the best. Like, I joke a lot about how sports don't really matter, and I get why, but they kind of do for that reason, I would say.
My dad's always go-to anytime he saw someone in, like, a team that we didn't like, it was always, lose a bet, huh?
Yeah.
That was always a good classic. Start who you like,
I remember going to Disney World in 2010 with my mom, and it was right after the Saints had beat the Colts in the Super Bowl, and there happened to be some Colts fans sitting behind us in like the little shuttle thing, and we turned around our Saints Super Bowl champions hat so they could see.
Yeah, that feels like a fan base that like just sit in their minds in their own business a little bit.
Yeah, we were feeling ourselves, man.
And I'm not even saying what you did.
I mean, you gotta flex on them a little bit.
But like the Colts is just like an all shucks feel kind of fan base.
They but I mean, look, they had already gotten their Super Bowl. It's
but
to Jake's point, like, do you know a hardcore Colts fan? Like, I see what you're saying.
They are hardcore fans, but I think Jake's saying they're just a bit more.
They're not maybe the fanatic.
Yeah, maybe like more mild mannered. They're not going to stab you like a Raiders fan or
Rob Banks, like the
Chiefsaholic. Yeah. Aren't the Raiders and the Niners both into stabbing? Like, don't they stab each other a lot?
I don't know.
If you look at their rivalry, their history.
Well, I know the Giants and Dodgers have certainly done that.
Y'all heard the story about like players saying like when they played in Oakland back in like the 80s, the fans would throw batteries at the players on the sideline.
Oh, that wasn't just the 80s. Lights out. Sean Merriman, he got a battery hurled at him in the mid 2000s.
Did he get knocked out?
No.
Oh, man, that'd been funny.
You got to come correct if you want to knock him out.
Sean Merriman disappeared, both from the football field and then from the media. Like, he was like a big media member, and then what happened? What's he doing?
So he's got he runs an MMA like league. It's called Lights Out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he's Dana White to this league, and it's on TV. I mean, it's caught some traction.
He had one of the. Oh God, that was
what in the world was that?
My mic was off.
Your mic was off, but I think Brain heard it down on the second floor.
Excuse me.
Sean Merriman had one of my favorite interviews of all time. He was on Highly Questionable. I've never seen anything like it. He just walked off in the middle of the interview. Because Dan can ask some like kind of personal questions and everything, and Bohannon and in the middle of the interview, imagine that being on like the main ESPN and just getting up and just walking off. Just said, nope, interview's over. Oh, okay. Yeah, lights out on this interview.
We need to get Sean on.
I would absolutely.
We had him a little like a 6 to 8 radio back in the day.
Who would win a fight between Sean Jordan and Sean Merriman?
Ooh.
Both in their prime.
I think both would die.
Both in their prime. That's true. You're going to have to kill them to keep them down. So, for today's show, we got some big Alvin Kamara news that broke yesterday afternoon. It's 53 days till the season starts. How about that? I find
53,
myself.
Let me think of a jersey number 53. Who wore 50? Grant Petty?
Jack Merrifield.
Yeah, Grant Petty wore 53.
Shout out Grant Petty. Shout out Trent Hebert, who they also had in 53 back in the day. Shout out Bola Nestra, Brian Bola Spistra, something a few years ago. Nobody remembers what I'm talking about.
Sony Fanua 2019.
Yes, Sony Fanua. Shout out. That's right. But no, I found myself on a vintage LSU Twitter account. So we'll discuss the aging process and how, it's how old you start to feel sometimes. We'll also talk to Jeff Schultz, formerly of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, now of The Athletic, as Georgia, Kirby Smart is dealing with the problems that come with success. As Georgia continues to be embroiled in a bit of scandal. It's the weirdest scandal I've ever seen. The kids just cannot stop speeding. An 11th speeding ticket or major traffic violation since January for the Bulldogs. And then we'll talk about the Bulldogs themselves with Jeff. And then I'm very excited. Jay Johnson going to come on at 9:30 for an official kind of end-of-the-year wrap-up. We did 9:30 because imagine this. He's on the West Coast recruiting. Because, of course, he is. That man never stops recruiting, but we can talk to him about the first, second overall picks, everything else. So it's going to be a very fun show today. And, we're probably going to go some – no flustering, though, today. We'll probably
what
go
a
some
bum.
weird, wait, guys, did anybody read that article I sent about 11 o'clock last night? I still haven't finished it. About the UAPs. Okay.
I missed that.
I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it yet because I was like half asleep reading it, but some UFO stuff, guys. I don't know. Anyway, more OTB coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. You can buy a lot online nowadays, Jake. If you wanted to buy a Toyota online, you could with All-Star Toyota Express right there at allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. You can customize your vehicle, order it, and then it'll show up for you. Chances are the purchase this big, though, you want to get in, you want to feel it a little bit, get inside it, ride around. Well, you can do all that by going to T-Mobile Airline Highway, and you can work with the best people in the sales department, the service department, just everywhere, top to bottom, working for you and your family, making sure you get a great deal and you get utility you need from your vehicle. Go to All-Star Toyota and find your next Toyota today.
T-Bob is right. You can go to the website. You can customize everything on the website. You can customize it, a little bit and then kind of print it out, show them what you want. If you want to walk over to the dealership, you can do it like T-Bob said, all at the dealership. However you want to do it, customize that Toyota today. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. We've got all the recap and reaction to the MLB draft, and the Big 12 kicks off college football's talking season with Big 12 Media Days. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
In the bow of the stern line, secondhand from a dealer in Atlanta. I rode up with Daddy when he went there to get her. Put on a shine, put on a motor, built out of love and made for the water. Ran her for years till her transom got rotten. A piece of my childhood that'll never be forgotten. It was just an old plywood boat, the 75 Johnson with electric choke. A young boy, 2 hands on the wheel. I can't replace the way it made me feel.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Across the Alabama line, but I was king of the ocean when Daddy let me drive.
Yeah, ball king, you feel it, little Alan Jackson. The countdown to Nashville continues. Get ready. Country music will be here. Mars said, oh, man, we're going to do this the next 2 weeks. Yeah. So
it is funny, the dynamic. So Taylor obviously is really enjoying this.
He's been waiting for this moment his entire life.
You and I, who we don't listen to country anymore, but we listen to country when these songs are released. We're kind of, going back in the day type of deal. And Mario is just hating himself over there.
Mario's like, if it's not trap music, I'm out.
But you'll see, Mario. I think there's going to be a little enjoyment through osmosis over the next couple of weeks. But beyond that, you just got to treat it like training camp. You know, as we sit here on the edge of camp, you can't focus on the big picture. You're going to drive yourself crazy. If you really never end up liking it, and you just think about how you're going to have to do it for 2 weeks, you're going to build it up to be too big. You're going to defeat yourself. So you got to take it one segment at a time, one play at a time, put the blinders on, and swallow it down one beautiful, sad country song at a time.
I'm cool with that. So when SEC Media Days inevitably goes to New Orleans, does that mean we could play bounce music?
Absolutely.
For sure.
No.
Of course,
yeah,
dude.
absolutely.
Yes.
Mario.
Cool. Get the big freed ready, Taylor.
Yeah, we could play. I mean, are you kidding me? With New Orleans, we could play anything, everything. Speaking of New Orleans, Alvin Kamara finally has his court case resolved. As yesterday, it was announced that Alvin Kamara agreed to plead no contest to a misdemeanor charge of breach of peace. Him and a few others were facing misdemeanor charges of conspiracy to commit battery and felony battery with substantial bodily harm. Obviously, that would have been very bad. Under the NFL enforcement policy, if you get found guilty of a felony, if you're a first-time offender, that is 6 games automatically. Felony is very serious. So, again, from all that to now, just a misdemeanor charge, breach of peace. He'll do 30 hours of community service and pay the victim $105,000 for medical bills. He has also had a private settlement over a civil suit with the alleged victim here in Louisiana, in which he also released a letter apologizing, or his lawyer did for sure, apologizing to the victim. So it looks like on the legal front, both criminal and civil, this is now over for Alvin Kamara, which I'll start here. My God, that's some lawyering right there. Because there were there were some lawyers out there who were talking about Vegas and how tough they can be and how, there's an idea out there that maybe they seek to make an example of them, that nobody's above law. All this sort of stuff, whatever you want to say. But to go from a potential felony to then misdemeanor breach of peace, 30 hours community service, 105, this is on the criminal front as light, I think, as you could have ever expected for this to go, considering that there's video evidence of how everything went down.
Yeah, I mean, we were thinking that it was going to be a completely different situation when we've talked about it over the last year plus. And so for this, I was a little surprised. I don't know how you felt about it.
About this coming out. Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be worse legally. Now,
right.
and I don't know if I'm wrong for this. There are going to be some who maybe, because we're about to focus on it from a football standpoint, there are going to be some who maybe are still upset and say, well, this is wrong. They attacked that man, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about all that much. And maybe I'm wrong for not, but drunken fights happen, and this is one of them. And if it changed your opinion on Kamara, sure, absolutely. I get it. I'm not telling anyone else how to feel. I don't. Whatever. It's over. That's how I feel about it now. But the question is now, what is the NFL going to do? Because just because both criminally and civilly this is now over for Kamara and it's all been settled and it's done, that does not mean that the NFL still will not take action. As they say, quote, "We have been closely monitoring all the developments in the matter, which remains under review." And then, as we know, under the current player conduct policy, you don't have to get found. The actual legal verdict means nothing. No. The NFL can do what they think is appropriate to the situation.
Yeah, I mean, it says it's not enough simply to avoid being found guilty of a crime. We are held to a high standard and must conduct ourselves in a way that is responsible, promotes the values of the NFL, and is lawful. And they've talked about it before, anything that embarrasses the Shield, and even if you are found, not even not guilty, but if you settle or if it's a misdemeanor, they will take their own review, and they can still possibly suspend you 2, 4, 6, 8, however many games that they decide, because, their big message, anytime they would come talk to us, protect the Shield, it's all about the Shield, we'll have our own findings and decide, what your fate's going to be.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's been a year and a half that this has been percolating in the air, a very long time. So hopefully the NFL will get this done sooner rather than later. I don't imagine that he'll get off without any sort of punishment, but I also don't imagine, and I want to be clear, I have not reached out to any experts on NFL enforcement policy or lawyers or anything. So what I'm saying, this is just me guessing. I don't think it's going to be completely off scot-free. I don't think it's going to be 6 games. If I had to guess, it'd probably be 2 games, Alvin Kamara appeals, and then we'll see where it goes.
It's hard. I mean, we could have whoever on. I don't think it would matter, because I don't want to say there's no consistency, but kind of. As far as what the NFL does. There's not really a blueprint that they follow. It's they don't spin a wheel, but it almost feels like it. 2 games, 4 games, 6 games, 8 games, spin the wheel.
Which is interesting, because that sounds, that is arguably unjust, right? That you should have clear lines. But also, I think it's exactly how the NFL wants it, right? It's kind of like the College Football Playoff Committee, where they don't actually want a set a clearly defined set of rules for how the 4 teams get chosen. Like, it behooves them to be able to shift the argument based on whatever the current situation is, and they can say, oh, yeah, well, these are the elements that led to this. And so in the same way, I think the NFL is kind of similar, where I think they want to be able to kind of look at each thing individually and just say, you know what, I think this is appropriate in this case. Who knows? Maybe it helps now that Sean Payton's in Denver. So Roger Goodell's like chilled out in New Orleans a little bit. Who knows?
I doubt it. I think if I just had to speculate and that's all it is, I think he gets 6 games. Just because he was on camera doing this. It was during the Pro Bowl.
We just talked about lack of precedent, but giving the same punishment as you get for being found guilty of a felony
6 is,
when you get a misdemeanor, that ain't.
They're gonna cite what you were just reading. They're gonna say it didn't matter. He beat somebody up in Las Vegas during an NFL function, or at least during Pro Bowl weekend.
Look,
that makes it feel more like 4. Again, I cannot think it would be 6.
As a Cowboys fan, a couple years ago, a similar situation happened with Zeke, and his honestly wasn't as bad as this. So Zeke got accused by his ex-girlfriend of beating her up. Well, the cops got involved. They looked at the text messages, found out she made the whole thing up. Ooh. The NFL still suspended Zeke 6 games because of a public conduct policy and that he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do in the offseason. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 6 games.
I think that, and this is all very greasy to talk about. I think that the NFL views domestic violence allegations and I guess what would this just be like, assault? I don't know. I'm just gonna come out like I'm not a lawyer. They view domestic violence and a man beating up another man differently. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I do think that is the case.
No, I agree, but it's like he also wasn't on camera doing this. There was no evidence that he did it. Kamara does have a little bit of evidence, so I don't know.
It's true. Maybe so. I didn't know that about the Zeke situation. So potentially, I still think maybe what you're saying, Mario. Maybe it's 4 games appeal down to 2. I don't know. I was
going to settle on 4. It just feels like 4. However they get to 4 initially, 6 down to 4. It feels like 4 games.
I would take 4. 4 would feel like a win for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think just getting past it is a win. I don't even care about the length of suspension. You got Jamal Williams. You got Kendre Miller. You got a lot of great offensive weapons. If you just approach from a football standpoint, what Alvin Kamara really needs is just to no longer have this hanging over his head. And we all make mistakes. I live in a glass house. And so all you could try to do is just try to learn from it and then not make that same mistake in the future. And so we'll see. But yeah, I think the main thing to me, I just want to be done with it. I want to be done doing what we're doing right now, guessing, hypothesizing, postulating, and I want to know exactly what the NFL is going to do. And I think Kamara probably does as well, right? Now that this is over. He had a July 31st court date that was kind of hanging over his head, going to be in the middle of training camp, kind of opinion. That's now out the window. Like I said, it's done criminally, it's done civilly. Now you just need that NFL discipline. You serve it. And then you are finally through. This was a year and a half ago. They say the wheels of justice are slow. Isn't that what they say? Well, yeah, you see it right here. Hell of a job though by Busby, his lawyer. Is that the same Deshaun Watson lawyer?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Pretty sure it is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Whew. Defense attorneys, man. They are. Hey, everybody needs a job. Hey, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. So, whatever. William Ivey, I'm a Saints fan, but also an American citizen. He needs to be punished for his admitted crime. So that's what I'm saying. You can feel that way, certainly. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bad person. Maybe I'm guilty of. Well, I think I'm guilty of exactly what I was just talking about, right? Viewing a man beating up another man differently, even if it is messed up. I don't know. Whatever. I'm done with this.
I got $100,000 out of it too.
You got more than that.
Yeah, more than that.
You got to remember, there's a privately settled civil suit. And the civil suit was for $10 million. Now, you don't get $10 million, but when you do that, you aim super high. I mean, I would be shocked if he didn't get at least $1 million off of that private settlement. So, yeah.
OTB mailbag. Would you let an NFL player beat you up on camera for $100,000?
That's what I'm saying. Well, you got to let's be clear. The $100,000 was for medical bills. And maybe his health insurance, so he gets. I don't know, right? But the question should be, even though we don't know the number, would you let an NFL player beat you up for $1 million?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Probably.
I think
Very, very likely.
No,
yes.
I'd let anybody beat me up for $1 million.
I know our poll question
dude.
today.
I know, dude. I could eat a few to the face. It would suck. It would hurt. It would be awful. But hey, there you go. Mill says totally spitballing here, but since he did plead guilty, I'd expect some sort of suspension. 3 games sounds right to me. In a vacuum, 4 maybe because it happened in loose connection in a NFL event. Okay, yeah. So we're all kind of feeling the same. Oh, Busby was the lawyer suing Kamara, not the defense attorney. Okay, that's what Dylan Pellerin said. All right, whatever. The point is, overall, civil criminal done. Wait on the NFL, and then we can finally move on. Coming up next, more OTB. It's 53 days till LSU kickoff. How about that? Right, talking a little Tigers next.
Quinn Johnson days.
Yeah, Quinn Johnson day.
In 2004, 53.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Rev Business started small in 1935. We built our reputation by providing hometown service with Louisiana hustle. For nearly 90 years, we've expanded across our great state, through the swamps and across the Mississippi, bringing fiber optics from the capital to the North Shore and down the bayou to the coast, all to connect your business with the world. Rev is about big business technology with small business personal service, powerful solutions, unmatched local service. Rev Business.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
About the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and the little thing I love about Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the spicy chicken biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
For the perfect poolside snack, grab a Smalls Party Pack. Small Sliders.
After further review with Matt Moscona, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's on. Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Rougarani Rants is going to join us to talk Rougarou, and we'll react to the entirety of the Major League Baseball draft. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I still feel 25 most of the time. I still raise a little cane with the boys. Honky tonks and pretty women, Lord, I'm still right there with them, singing above the crowd and the noise. Sometimes I feel like Jesse James.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Here we go. It'll be stuck in my head for the rest of the day now. Only every time I sing a Jake, I always accidentally sing Jesse Jane.
Why would that be, T-Bob?
Star of Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most notoriously high production value adult films ever made. It cost over $1 million to make back in the day. It was in the wake of the Pirates of the Caribbean mega hit.
Are you not talking about Pirates of the Caribbean?
No.
Okay.
No.
Pirates.
That was Keira Knightley. Pirates.
Who starred in that? I'm curious.
Jesse James.
Yeah. Oh, that's who that is. Okay.
We just said.
I didn't. Okay.
Oh, well, no, there were other stars as well. I don't remember any of the others off the top of my head, but Jesse James.
She was the headliner, it feels like, on the marquee.
Maybe Katie Morgan. I'm not 100% sure on that, though.
Big name, yeah.
I remember her from HBO more.
She had her own show.
I just heard
true.
Jesse J now when he sang this song.
I'm telling you, bro, it's every time.
You
now.
did this.
It sucks. It's been my entire life. This is a banger, though, Camille. You're absolutely right. Man, imagine a young George Strait riding into whatever little bar you were in and
you just get up and
that
leave.
night, dude.
All right, dude.
No, I'm saying like you're just a patron, not you're singing at the bar. Like you're just a patron at the bar and you're just having a drink and I don't know, like the entertainment that night is like a young George Strait.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. That'd be cool. It's like I saw some video about I don't know anything about Morgan Wallen. I've never listened to his music, but I saw a video of like a concert for him in 2018 where it looks like he's playing at like maybe like a state fair and there's like a smattering of people watching and then it's like 2023 and it's like a sold out stadium.
Yeah. I saw him in
kind of insane.
in Mobile at the state fair there and it was like 30 outdoor 35,000 people, I think.
Damn.
Just
It's
people
gotta be a
for,
good feeling,
for
dude.
days.
Got to be a good feeling. I mean, I guess we used to know a part of that feeling, Jake, right? Playing in front of 100K, scoring touchdowns and whatnot. Today, it's 53 days till football season started, and Vintage LSU, which is a Twitter, had a picture of me from the Oregon game celebrating an early Spencer Ware touchdown. I'll never forget. I felt a little bit like a country music star at that point, and I don't know, man. The only thing is there was something a bit jarring about seeing the account named Vintage LSU put a picture of me out there. I talked about someone with this the other day. Post-college, like, your life can sometimes be broken down into blocks, right? Junior high, high school, college. Post-college is just one giant block, which means that college doesn't feel that long ago, and then you wake up and you realize it was. This scene, Taylor, this scene from one of my favorite movies ever tends to hit a bit harder as, you know, literally every day that goes by. No, wait, no.
Don't have it ready.
Oh.
Give Taylor a moment.
I mean, did
No,
we
it's
talk
ready.
about this? Okay. This, whatever, play it. What's that?
Bet that blonde was a real shot of life.
Yeah, real shot. You ever think we're being, I don't want to say sleazy, because that's not the right word, but a little irresponsible? I mean...
No. One day you'll look back on all this and laugh. Say we were young and stupid. Couple of dumb kids running around.
We're not that young.
Hell of a season, pal.
Hell of a season.
Oh, man. Dude, if that isn't kind of my exact feeling after the baseball natty. You know, hey, that natty was a real shot of life, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like going crazy at Don Juan, party in my face. Like, you think we're going to look back and think, no, we're just young and stupid, 34 years old. And probably shouldn't be doing what I was doing in Don Juan at 34. Hell of a season, though.
Oh, I'm 38.
Hey, it was a hell of a season, bro.
You know, we had Cade Beloso in here a couple of weeks ago, and you're celebrating national championships, and, you know, T-Bob and I, we got one of those too. It's like, yeah. And you think, like, Cade's considered, like, the old guy on the team. He's, like, 22.
He's like, I wasn't born for that.
Yeah, like, everything we were bringing up on air during the breaks. I was, like, 3 or 4. I'm like, we're not the same age. You're way younger than us.
Oof, a little too real. But you know what? We're just going to ignore it with another shot in the arm because we got a big season coming up, and that's the LSU Football Tigers getting ready to go. Yesterday, we were breaking down SEC Media Days. Jake, there's been a lot of debate on this front. We talked about Josh Williams yesterday, obviously, as we should, because Josh Williams, like we said, it was validation, him getting selected as SEC Media Day. He's earned it, RB1, and probably like RB1 amongst the committee. But one of those new committee members is going to be Logan Diggs, transferring from Notre Dame. And I guess I just want to pick your brain a little bit. What have you seen out of Diggs? And then where do you, how do you kind of try to predict his role here at the onset?
I mean, he's a very talented running back. We've seen him play in high school. Obviously, he's from the state of Louisiana. Covered a couple of his games. I'm sure Mario probably covered a couple of his games as well. Really good player, tough runner, Notre Dame's leading rusher, so you know he's going to have a role on this team. We just don't know how that's going to be defined yet because we talked about it yesterday. You've got a running back by committee, and if you have the committee, you want everybody to kind of have a different skill set. And he is a little bit different than Noah Cain. He's different than Josh Williams. He's different than John Emery. But I don't know what the pecking order is going to be and what roles are going to be filled. I still think that is something in training camp that's going to be decided. Yeah. I don't think that's decided right now here on July the 12th. And so as far as trusted running back, it's the game's on the line play. I fully expect Josh Williams to be in the game. When you look at Noah Cain, when you look at Logan Diggs, obviously tough runners. I still think Noah Cain, we saw him in the Arkansas game. If it's one of those 4-minute offense games for an extended period of time, he still feels like the guy maybe that will be in there. John Emery's the big question mark because we have seen him take over games before.
Yeah.
When you look at Auburn last year, he takes that game over. He's had so many big plays in his career. It's been in flashes. You'd like for it to be more consistent, but that's just not what you've been able to get. Armani Goodwin, I don't know if he's going to be back from injury. Unfortunately, he's been injured really for a bulk of his career. You've seen the talent of what he could be, but yeah, he's just so explosive. He had some hamstring and some different deals, and I don't know if he's going to be ready to go. So it's a very talented running back room. Do not get me wrong. You've got a lot of guys that have a lot of different skill sets, but how they play out, I don't think that is decided yet. They don't know how many carries each one of these backs is going to get against Florida State. I mean, you have Trey Holly, also the state's leading all-time rusher.
And who played in spring.
Yeah, I mean, he was,
played a lot.
Gosh, it felt like, they have 2 running backs available?
He got thrown into the deep end and
baptism
said,
by
let's see
fire.
if he can swim. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if he will have a role. Probably going to be the last as far as having an opportunity, but you have a group of guys that I think right now is very solid. You don't have a Judkins from Ole Miss. You don't maybe have a Rocket Sanders, but you've got some real quality backs that together, if it's done right, they can be one of the better running back rooms in the entire conference.
We should probably explore this a bit more in depth because we got to go in like a minute here. But one guy I'm fascinated to see is Lansard. Because last year we saw the impact that two true freshman tackles have. Hurd was a second-ranked player in Louisiana, third offensive tackle in the nation, a 5-star. He's incredibly confident. Remember, he was talking earlier last year about how he was going to come down here, and I think be the starting left tackle. And they're like, well, you know that's Will Campbell's spot, right? And he's like, yeah, I played with him. I was his teammate. I'm going to start. So it does not lack in confidence. But then again, it comes at a time when LSU feels very set among the offensive line, pretty much left to right. And so that's a good thing to have. I just wonder, like, will he find a way into that starting lineup? Is he a rotational piece? Or does he need a bit more work like most freshmen do? We've been spoiled by Will Campbell and Emory Jones. We will see as time goes on. Maybe we can even explore a bit more on the other side of this break. Keep it locked. Hey, if you're watching at youtube.com/1045ESPN, thank you. Hit the sub button if you're not. Hit the like button if you're watching right now, and we'll see you on the other side.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green. This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade, time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you.
Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
All right, let's say ah.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. We've got all the recap and reaction to the MLB draft, and the Big 12 kicks off college football's talking season with Big 12 Media Days. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Work out, Pam.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTV. Some All-Star baseball game talk last night. Anybody watch? I did not. My kids went to go to sleep. I ended up falling asleep in the room on the floor, of course, blah, 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 whatever. I had no sports.
I love baseball. Can watch a lot of 162 games. I can watch a little bit of each of it. I am not watching the All-Star
I
game.
was watching fast food conspiracy theories. Infinitely more interesting to me.
Well, feed me then.
The number one theory was the Starbucks people misspell your names on purpose so that they send it to their friends and it goes viral and they get more publicity that way. That was the number one conspiracy theory. Then the pink slime.
Who sends it to their friends? Who sends what to their friends?
Like the people that get their names misspelled at Starbucks. They'll be like, oh, they spelled my name Aaron or something like that. Starbucks ends up, being on the internet more.
Do
it's good for
people
business.
actually text their friends that, though? Is that interesting?
I don't go to Starbucks, but apparently so, yeah. Then you had the pink slime and the McNuggets, supposedly. But then McDonald's made a video showing how McNuggets are made, and there is in fact no pink slime.
Well, I remember the whole campaign of now with 100% white meat. And it's well, okay, guys.
What was it before?
Yeah, but the immediate follow-up is, but then they say, no, don't pay. And it's okay. Just know now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
We're
100%.
good. We're above board now.
Yeah. Did it mention at all when Taco Bell their beef didn't actually legally qualify as beef because there wasn't enough beef content in it?
Yeah, there were several like that. There was one saying that KFC doesn't use real chicken. They use mutated hens or something like that.
And that's chicken.
Their official company name is KFC. It doesn't mention chicken in the actual name.
I mean, every time I go to KFC, they're out of everything. So does it really matter?
Well, I don't know when the last time I went to KFC was.
Did I stop going?
I used to get stoned.
Why would someone go to KFC when Popeyes is probably closed?
Popeyes is always out of everything.
I was about to say, to be fair, for the last 3 months, I've tried once a month to get a Popeyes chicken sandwich, and I've struck
do it
out
anymore.
3 times in a row for different reasons every time. But it's okay. Al's trying to teach me a good lesson. I don't know what it is. I will see. Praise be to Pastor Copeland, and I'll be back here in about 3 weeks. I'll try again, and maybe we'll get a hit this time. Who knows? It is. Oh, okay.
What name, real quick? What name do you use at Starbucks? Because you go. I mean,
Bob.
Okay.
Any public facing thing, I just say Bob.
Because you go every morning.
It's well, yeah, but I go through the drive-through. There's no. It takes 2 seconds.
Well, sometimes you do go in because
occasionally
there was that one Twitter profile, not Moscona, that took a picture of you while sitting at Starbucks.
Yes, that was some excellent creepiness by the Moscona account, who I believe became just incredible on Twitter. Yeah, that's if the drive-through line is too long, but it never normally is.
Not at that time.
But anytime you got to give your name, I say Bob. I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole of T-Bob. It's just like a lot to explain. It's like, oh, interesting name. You know what's not interesting? Bob. We just keep it nice and keep it moving.
It's a great name to say in a country accent, though.
Yep. Say Bob. Exactly.
Little baby Bobby.
Little baby Bobby.
Little baby Bobby is big baby Bobby.
I've been watching Little Righteous Gemstones season 3, and it is as fantastic as ever. What I did not realize, because I'd watched Righteous Gemstones since it's been out. I have not watched Succession. What I didn't realize, in a lot of ways, Righteous Gemstones is just Succession filtered through the brain of Danny McBride. Speaking of your conspiracies, do y'all want to watch a video on how imitation crab meat is made?
Nope. I heard about that.
Bro, it's so bad.
I heard it was foul.
It is so bad.
I don't eat it, so like I'll watch it.
Either.
All right, let's do it. Later in the show. Hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Rejuve Me Medical. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. RejuveMeMedical.com. That's your place where you're going to refine yourself, if you will. And they offer a plethora of services. Jake, we're always talking about HRT. We're talking about metabolization optimization. We're talking about getting a plan for you. But look, it's Botox. It's treatments that I don't even understand. The point is, they have a wide range of techniques and treatments for you. You go in, get the free consult, get your labs done, see what you're comfortable with, what you want to do, and recognize, guys, it's fun. We're talking about feeling younger and better. It's a good thing. Now open in Shreveport, Metairie, Slidell, and Baton Rouge. Rejuve Me Medical.
Yeah, you can find that list of conditions because maybe you're dealing with something and you got an idea of what it is, but also like you can just go in and you can get your blood drawn like T-Bob's talking about, and they can help you get to the bottom of it. One of the great services they have over there at Rejuve Me. I would encourage you to go to the website, check out everything they have to offer, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales service and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly...
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Wednesday, July 12th, excuse me. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 94. Coming up on OTB, LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson joins the show at 9:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Hour number 2. No Flynn today. There is some basketball news, though. There is Big 12 Media Day today. We'll talk to Jeff Schultz, formerly of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, now of The Athletic, about the Georgia Bulldogs and some of the issues facing Kirby Smart, as it appears like... Well, he's having a bit of trouble with what I would describe as the problems that come with success, and he actually talked about this, about how because if you missed it, of course, Georgia had that awful tragedy following the national championship where some street racing led to a couple of young people losing their lives, and you would think that would mean that that everybody would maybe be like, okay, what are we doing? Are we speeding, street race, whatever we need to kind of, we need to stop doing this. And for whatever reason, that has not been the case. As recently, freshman outside linebacker Samuel Mpemba was arrested for doing 88 and a 55, which 30 over, I believe, is an automatic arrest. I don't know about here. I know in Georgia it is. It's the 11th traffic-related moving violation. So essentially the 11th huge speeding violation for UGA since January 15th, since that tragedy. So for whatever reason, that has not changed kind of the culture there, whatever's going on. And it's interesting because Kirby Smart says, you ask about the invincibility question. Are we above the law? He says, you're always concerned about that as a football coach. I never sleep at night worrying about that. It wasn't because we won 2 national championships to worry about that every year. Worry about that all the time. How do we make them understand that this is real life, that you're not above the law, and that you have to adhere to the principles and values of the organization? We've had guys kicked off for not adhering to the principles and values of the organization. So basically just saying, how do you get these young kids, which, I mean, even if you're not a 2-time national champ who's highly paid and has a new badass vehicle and everything, like, even if you're just a normal 18-year-old, you already feel invincible. So what then happens when you are invincible on the football field? You are clearly the best, and you now have, like we said, the resources to go along with it. It's just, it's a dangerous mix. I mean, remember like Denver Harris last year for A&M, now LSU, speeding through the parking lot in his new car on Instagram Live. Dumb as hell, but that's a young kid doing stupid young kid stuff. And so I don't know. I don't know how you try to fix this problem. Maybe I'm making too much of this. Maybe it's much ado about something that is not too big of a deal, but it does speak to again, some of the problems that I think come with success.
Yeah, those numbers are too high, too many players for it not to be a deal. I mean, you can tell in Kirby's quotes that it's certainly a deal, something that they've talked about many, many times there within the team, and that message, for whatever reason, is just not hitting home with his players. I mean, Mpemba was going, what you said, 88 and a 55, and that was an hour before one of the Georgia receivers was set to make an appearance in court in Athens for driving 90 in a 45.
Yeah, we're saying
like an hour apart from each other. So like this is a real issue. Now, I'm not saying that Georgia's the only place where it is an issue. And you talk about feeling invincible. Like you're right. I mean that goes across a lot of different programs. Not only now, but I mean when you and I were playing. I mean there is kind of some of that feeling.
Yeah.
But this is an issue. This is a problem when you start talking about double-digit players getting into trouble for the same reason, and it's like an incredible tragedy.
And that's the craziest part. It would be much ado about nothing to me if they already hadn't seen the worst possible outcome of this stuff. That's where it gets surprising to me, is that you didn't have that invincibility kind of pricked and burst open after having lost friends and colleagues in a similar situation. Because unfortunately, just as human beings, like sometimes we only learn our lessons the hard way, right? And they had to experience the hardest of ways, and it appears to have not maybe had the impact that outside looking in you would think that it would.
And it's one of those deals, like if you're Kirby, you're like, gosh, I mean, it was. Everybody remembers, that moment hearing that story. It was incredibly sad, and that's something where you're like, hey, we've gone through this. Like, what are we doing? Like, let's make sure this never happens again. And so, like, again, going back and kind of reading some of the things that Kirby's saying, like it is an issue. It is a problem, something that he's trying to get fixed. And like it's almost like if Kirby Smart can't get it done, like who's going to be able to get through to these players?
Yeah. No, that's
and it does happen everywhere, to your point, but like just the sheer numbers of how many times that it's happened to these players.
Well, yeah, there's a concentration there.
It's habitual. I mean, you're talking about 11th.
Yeah. And it seems to be like in the team's culture a little bit, which sounds odd. I don't know how that something like as random as just driving really fast develops as a part of the culture, but there appears to be something there. And look, I'm like I said, I live in a glass house. I got a DWI in college. Very low moment for me. Ended up being a big positive for me in the end, because it made me, luckily I avoided the nightmare scenario, and it made me kind of fix myself, if you will. But during that, Jake, I had to go to a lot of pretrial intervention, and this involves a lot of mothers against drunk driving, other things that are absolutely heartbreaking. But one of the big educational pieces, I'll never forget it. It was some police officers speaking with us, and Kirby's had policemen speak to the team on this very thing. That's why I'm bringing it up. But it's just kind of a public announcement that the speed element with accident is what ratchets up the dangers, like with car accidents, right? Like if you are following the speed limit or 5 over 10 over, I'm not saying you're 100% going to be okay, right? Like you don't have to be going fast to get into trouble. It's like I think about the Chad Jones accident back in the day. He wasn't going fast, but he hit an immovable object. Mm-hmm. That's how I had it explained to me by a police officer. If you hit an immovable object, you're going to be in trouble no matter what. But just the faster you go, you just exponentially increase the danger for no real reason, right? Except to maybe get where you're going a bit faster. So if you're out there and it's like rainy or something, or you're just driving, just like think about that. Like there's no real need to it's in terms of the risk you're exposing yourself to versus what maybe the benefit is, getting there a minute or two earlier. Like, is it really worth it? I don't know. But we'll talk to Josh Schultz about the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll talk to Jeff Schultz about the Georgia Bulldogs and everything going on over there in Athens a bit later on in the hour. Jake, Big 12 Media Days going on today. We mentioned it last week. Texas, the huge, massive thumb on the scale favorites to win the conference. Who do you think outside of Texas would you say is most being slept on here? I want to say Kansas State, the second leading vote getter.
Yeah.
Then it's Texas Tech and Oklahoma with just 4 first place. Like Oklahoma having 4 first place votes to Texas's 41 is pretty surprising to me.
Yeah, TCU, the team that made it to the national championship game a year ago, they come in at number 5 with only 3 first place votes. So that's a team that I'm looking forward to seeing. You lose your offensive coordinator to Clemson and Garrett Riley, but you get Kendall Briles from Arkansas, someone that a lot of teams would want to be their offensive coordinator, very respected in putting a game plan together, schematics of what he's been able to do there in Fayetteville. So you get him to come down to Fort Worth. You get Chandler Morris back. You get Trey Sanders from Alabama. You get JoJo Earl from Alabama. You get Jack Besh from LSU. They've done some really nice things in the portal, and I talked about it the other day. The players that they lost to the NFL draft, which there was a ton, they did a really nice job of identifying who they lost, the positions that they lost, and try to go get a player to replicate what they had in that player. I'm a big believer in Sonny Dykes. I think he's been a really good coach in multiple places. I think his coaching travels. That's not always the case. And, they've got some players coming back on that defense that aren't being talked about enough. Johnny Hodges right in the middle of that defense, how, versatile he was for them a year ago. So there's a lot to like for me for TCU. Am I saying they're going to win the conference? They didn't win it last year. Kansas State, remember, won it, even though TCU went to a natty. I don't know that they can win it, but they can certainly make some noise. We get a great opportunity from the get-go. They host Colorado in the first game of the year, that Colorado team that no one knows how they're going to be, good, bad, or indifferent. So I'm intrigued
not true.
by that game.
I have a $100 bet on the over, over 4.5 wins for Colorado. It actually feels like an awful bet when you look at the schedule. I don't think they're going to
they have one of the toughest schedules in the country.
Yeah. But I got real excited one day, just thinking about Prime and watching interviews and everything. And, one thing leads to another. And there you go. But that's not what's happening with Nebraska, to be painful.
They play Nebraska game number 2.
Oh, I know. Unfortunately, that's a loss for Colorado. I hate to say it, but it is. I
think they're, off the top of my head, at Oregon and USC at home, their first Pac-12 games.
I think that if I was going to look at Big 12 teams outside of Texas, I don't know, man. Am I dumb for still just going Oklahoma? I feel you on TCU. Cleveland and Kansas State definitely probably deserve the second most votes. But, if I'm just thinking about who I think could win it, again, I'm not sure about Venables as a head coach, but he has proved me wrong as a recruiter. I still don't believe in him, but I guess I could be wrong. Dylan Gabriel's pretty good. They're going to be really talented, if nothing else, more talented than their opponents. I think they should have the second best chance of winning the Big 12. I will say this, though. One team that I do love that got the same amount of votes is Texas Tech. Texas Tech been doing some real interesting things. They were good last year, and they punched up last year. Remember, they were the ones who basically said after the Texas game, we said they would fold, and they did because we know them. We know who they are, and they are weak at the end of the day. And, they were absolutely right. But Texas Tech, man, remember, they got more. It just shocks me, Jake, the amount of football economy that there is in Texas. There's enough players for A&M, Texas, and Oklahoma to have top 10 classes every year. There's enough players to also have Baylor be good and have Texas Tech be good. There's enough money in the ecosystem where every single player on Texas Tech gets $50,000. Every single player as a baseline NIL for signing with the Red Raiders. And it's what has Texas Tech even done to the combination of oil, football, and a ton of geography is just undefeated in that state, and it's why the college football is so good. So,
when you look at Oklahoma's schedule, it's really going to line up nice for them. Remember, they had Georgia on the schedule, but that game went away because Georgia's joining the SEC, which I still don't understand because Texas and Alabama are still playing each other. I know they started the series already last year, but I'm surprised that game's happening in Georgia. Oklahoma's not, but it's not. So when you look at their non-conference, it's Arkansas State, SMU, and at Tulsa.
Yeah.
All right, it's going to be 3 wins for Oklahoma. And then when you look at the Big 12, at Cincinnati, Iowa State, Texas and Dallas, UCF, at Kansas, at Oklahoma State, West Virginia, at BYU, and TCU at home.
Oklahoma should roll through that schedule. If they don't, then Brent Venables really is a failure, and Sooners fans need to be terrified because you made the wrong choice after getting it absolutely right 2 in a row with Stoops and Riley. But, why? You're telling me Tech's going to win the Big 12 and Oklahoma has that schedule? I find that to be a bit surprising.
Okay, and so then you look at Texas Tech and their schedule. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. When you look at non-conference games, they've got to play Oregon. Now, that game is at home, but that's going to be a very difficult game for them. They go at Wyoming, which that's not going to be just roll the helmets out there. At Wyoming, the highest altitude of any college football team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment there. Okay, so you got to go play that game. Then you come back and you play Oregon, as I mentioned. Then you get Tarleton State, so that's obviously going to help things out before you get started in conference play. At West Virginia, Houston, at Baylor, Kansas State, at BYU, TCU, at Kansas, UCF, but at Texas to finish the year. So they've got a tough stretch there at Kansas, UCF, and at Texas.
Again, I don't think Texas Tech is going to win the Big 12. I'm more bringing Texas Tech up just to say, recognize that's a good program that's growing, moving in the right direction, and has a shocking amount of investment considering that they've never really been major players. So a little Big 12 preview there for you on Big 12 Media. Here's some interesting questions. I see some interesting LSU hypotheticals coming in. Why don't we do this? During the break, if you get LSU football questions in the chat, we'll explore them next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
CentralPlumbing.org, CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552, 925-8552. CentralPlumbing.org is the website. Central Plumbing is the company, and the Payne family's been running the company for about 50 years now, y'all. And the only way that you stand the test of time and the way they have is because, your customers are consistently satisfied. So whether it's the quality of work, the fact that everybody's licensed, bonded, insured, the excellent warranty coverage once the work is done, the flat rate pricing, there's so much love, the 24/7 emergency service, weekend, weekday, holiday. They're there for you when you need them. CentralPlumbing.org.
They are. It doesn't matter. Like T-Bob said, anytime, any situation, they're going to come out, they're going to help you. But as we always remind you, it's not only in emergencies. If you're looking to upgrade, if you want to do it at your home or your business, they can certainly come in, give you a consultation, tell you exactly what they can do for your space. We tell you every single day. Go tankless today with a tankless water heater as well. CentralPlumbing.org, 225-925-8552.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Rougarani Rants is going to join us to talk Rougarou, and we'll react to the entirety of the Major League Baseball draft. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old.
104.5 ESPN is giving you the opportunity to win $2,000 a day with our 2K a day summer cash giveaway. Listen for us to give a keyword every day, then head to our website and enter it on the 2K a day contest page. Everyone who enters even one keyword the entire week will be entered to win a $500 local cash prize. And the keyword today for 8/15 is beach. The keyword for 8/15 is beach. Participate in our 2K a day cash giveaway.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Boy, if this don't get you a little good feeling, nothing can, man. Even though we all know the Studio Ghibli Japanese version is actually the premiere version of Country Roads.
I like it.
John Denver's not bad, I suppose.
We did play that
Yeah,
not long ago. You're right.
It's a great version. It's like when Johnny Cash sang Hurt. That was no longer Nine Inch Nails' song.
And they said as much.
Exactly. I don't think Denver's come out and said as much about Studio Ghibli. I don't know if Denver's alive, and I don't know if Denver knows who Studio Ghibli is.
My hot
Rest
take.
in peace, John Denver.
My hot take with this topic is Smooth Criminal, Michael Jackson, legendary song, but Alien Ant Farm did it better. They did it better.
I used to like that Alien Ant Farm version. Sure.
That got me hyped up back in the day.
I feel that. Well, you grabbed your mic to say something.
We're gonna allow this. We're gonna allow that.
I mean,
I
don't have enough MJ passion to be upset by it. Actually, to be honest.
No, what I was going to say was, John Denver was a pilot, and he was actually killed in a plane crash.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! Awful.
1997.
Rest in peace, man. And the USFL, the Denver mascot, they were the Denver Gold.
Okay.
Yes, continue.
That was it. That was all I had to say. For some reason, I've always associated that with John Denver, even though there's no real connective tissue there.
Wasn't there another band that did Smooth Criminal? Criminal. Like
Alien Ant
Fallout
Farm.
Boy or somebody maybe.
Are you sure you're not thinking Alien Ant Farm?
Yeah, you might be thinking.
No, I know
another.
what you're talking about.
Okay.
The Alien Ant Farm. No, I just thought there was another.
Might be thinking of another MJ song that Fallout
Maybe
Boy
so.
did.
Yeah, they did something. I don't remember which one it was.
All right, let's see if we got any of these questions. He said, y'all did favorite SEC player. I'd like to hear a breakdown of favorite LSU player at every position. Ooh, that might be a lot. Okay, how about this? Rank each position group from most confident to least confident in being successful this season. I am most confident on the interior defensive line, I would say. Second most confident, either wide receiver or offensive line. Where are you at?
Most confident, I'm going to go. Actually, it might be middle linebacker right now.
That's a weird one. That's
Harold
a good answer.
Perkins
That's a
and Omar
different answer
Speights.
you're going to hear anywhere else.
My goodness, I think yes, Harold Perkins. I mean, obviously, but my film study of Omar Speights is probably the reason why I'll throw that out there.
Okay.
I feel just as strong about the offensive line and defensive front as you do. If we're going in quarterback too, you have two right now that you know could go out there and win you football games. The one that I'm least confident right now is probably going to be edge rusher and corner.
Yeah. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
It's unknown. It's
Probably edge rusher
potential.
more so than corner, though, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because there's potential there, but there's not a known commodity. There's not someone that you say, okay, he's going to get his. We'll see if the other guys around him can step up. It's everyone right now is fighting for that job. And you've got transfers. You've got highly touted freshmen coming in. You've got players like Savion Jones, but I still think he's going to be more of an edge setter. You still have really good football players, but B.J. Ojulari was here for so long and played so well and now you're hitting reset. Anytime that you do that, there's going to be question marks.
I agree. Some NBA changes were made recently. Flopping is now going to be a technical foul. Mario, how are we feeling about that?
What in the Vlade Divac?
I know, dude. I know. Get that flopping video ready to go of Chris Paul.
A lot of people love this rule. What I like about it is, like, if they see a flop, they don't have to stop the in-game action. They can go back and review it the next dead ball, which is good.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And also, like, you don't actually need the refs in-house reviewing it, right? Do they review it, though? Because I wouldn't stop the game at all. I would have just the mothership back wherever just reviewing it and being like, hey, that was a flop. I don't need the actual on-court refs to decide what was a flop or not. You could literally have just a dedicated flop judge in mission control.
That's a good thought, and maybe they'll end up having the final say. But as of right now, I think the referees are controlling it. And I think it's a good rule. Like, flopping is a part of the game. Your favorite team's best player flops, I promise you, if you're an NBA fan. But
no, in some sports, though, you would be, I get it's not maybe the most masculine or fair thing or, like, honest. It's not the most honest thing to flop. But, like, in soccer, it's a legitimate strategy.
Yes.
And in basketball, it had become a legitimate strategy. But unlike soccer, basketball doesn't want it to.
Yes, and they're slowly, give Adam Silver and the league a lot of credit. They're slowly getting a lot better at this. Like, a few years ago, they eliminated the rip-through move that Kevin Durant and James Harden used to do. But, yeah, some of this is egregious. And Chris Paul and Joel Embiid, in my opinion, are kind of the two biggest proponents of this. But this is a good rule.
You got to go back to the first Paul angle. Start the video over again. Watch how hard, this is how you sell a flop. Watch how hard Chris Paul throws his skull into the ground to try to show that Boogie Cousins. And then it's really wrong of Paul to do it against Boogie, or maybe it's genius because he already has a bad reputation. So the refs are immediately like, oh, yeah, he definitely
He knows what he's doing, I promise.
I mean, how can you,
watch this right here, watch. I mean, he goes down head first, full flip. Poor Boogie, man.
Bro, you're getting fined in the kangaroo court. In the NFL, if you did that, your teammates are calling you out.
Well, Jake, how do you feel about it, though? Because you love footy, and this is a legitimate part of the game.
Yeah, so one part of footy that I hate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And I'm glad they're finally giving out yellow cards for players that flop. Like, it's been needed for a very, very long time.
What do you mean? When did that's have I seen that?
It's really ramped up in the last 2 years. If you flop, certainly in the box, they're going to give you a yellow card.
Well, I mean, that actually makes okay. And now I'm thinking about it, I have seen some of those recently, and that does make a bit of sense because as a referee, you're pissing me off if you're flopping in the box. Like, you're putting me in an awful spot here. Like, you have an entire country of people ready to kill me now.
Literally,
you a-hole. Like,
that point is
screw
great.
you, dude.
Yeah.
Screw you.
That's a great
I would
point.
love nothing more than to hand a card, especially if it was the one that got him kicked out of the game, to someone who tried to flop on me in the box. Especially like if you didn't really see it or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, dude! I don't know. Be absolutely terrified.
I mean, that's like when I was picking my Premier League team. Like, Everton at the time had a gritty toughness about them, and that was one of the things that I'm like, okay, you're not going to just flop like some of these teams. I'll pick you. And thankfully, the U.S. has a team that doesn't do it because I think it's really not in the culture of our country to go out there and flop. You have some countries that are just I can't even as good as they are, they're unwatchable at times.
It's like somebody like Italy, right? What is Italy known for? Passion and emotion
Pizza.
and being over the top, and that goes into their flopping. I don't know why as much in South America, but it seems like the South American teams love it, right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy? I mean, I feel like Neymar's like the goat flopper.
Yeah, there is some for sure.
Either way, not allowed now. Technical foul in the NBA. That's a good call. They don't have to stop play as well because they don't need to slow it down anymore.
It's good.
Also, if you win a challenge, you get another challenge now?
You got a second one, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's been like 3 seasons that they even introduced a challenge at all, which that took way too long. But, yeah, it's good. I was talking about it with Taylor before. Like, there'd be a lot of situations in, like, the first or second quarter of games where the referees clearly blow the call, but coaches know they only have one challenge, and they'd rather save it for, later in the game. So, another good rule.
A great call here by Survive623 before you go to Jeff Schultz next. You know who doesn't flop? Professional chess players. That's right, boys. Never forget it. The manliest of all sports, professional chess players.
You think that's the manliest of all sports?
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a one-on-one duel for supremacy. What do you mean?
What about like boxing?
Jousting?
Boxing's one-on-one.
Yeah, but there's not enough. What do they say, Taylor? The pen is mightier than the sword. Okay, great. You're a barbarian and you can swing your fists around, okay? But what happens when we get into deep strategy and planning and tactics? Okay, you're dead. You're dead in the water. I'm going out to smart you. You're like a wild bear, and I'm the human with the bear trap, okay? That's a chess player versus a boxer. Actually, there is chess boxing, though, which if you've never seen it before is maybe the dumbest but one of the funniest sports ever, because they sit there and daze each other and then go try to play chess. It's amazing.
What?
Yeah. You never seen chess boxing?
No.
I don't know.
The only chess that I've seen is Queen's Gambit, the TV show.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then when Screech was trying to play chess on Saved by the Bell, that one episode.
I would like to watch that and break it down with my current chess experience. Let's go to break and we'll get back. Jeff Schultz, The Athletic.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. And we also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
This summer, retirement is a state of mind. Whether it's a mid-morning activity or an early bird special, grab a Coors Light and chill like you're retired. Are you with me?
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $25,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. We've got all the recap and reaction to the MLB draft, and the Big 12 kicks off college football's talking season with Big 12 Media Days. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I dearly love to be, but all my exes live in Texas, and that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. Rosanna's down in Texarkana, wanted me to push her.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Good boys, continue to get ready for Nashville. Little country music, bring it back in. And right now, it is my pleasure to be joined by one of my favorite journalists ever. A man who watched me in Boy Scouts, coached me in T-ball back in the day, maybe coached, which I can't even remember, my brain's broken. That is Jeff Schultz of The Athletic, an Atlanta journalism legend in his own right. Jeff, what's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
Petite Bob. We do go back a few years, don't we?
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's really cool. It's it's nice to think back on, for sure. Now, Jeff, it's kind of crazy. I am now 34 years old, and I have 3 children of my own. How about that? I got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 9-month-old baby. 7 months.
That's crazy. I'm only 37. How did that happen?
I don't know. It's so weird. I was about to say, you look great. It's like time has stood still. There's actually a ton that I want to talk to you about, but kind of the impetus for this was the piece that you have in The Athletic today. And it concerns UGA and kind of the culture around the football program right now. And it's been an interesting offseason with UGA and journalism, as them and the AJC have kind of been doing battle, even to the point with the AJC of having to retract at least one story that was out there. But one thing that has not been retracted, it can't really be argued, is that for whatever reason, UGA seems to have a speeding issue. And it's weird because, Jeff, normally in a vacuum, I don't know how big of a deal this is, but the amount of this that has come on the heels of seeing what the worst case scenario is, right? Like the tragedy of early January. For all this to come after that, it makes it into a big deal. And so what give us maybe more of a local view on it. Like how do Georgia fans feel about what's currently going on right now with the Bulldogs?
I mean, I think most of the fan base is probably still thinking about it from a football perspective. Like, you know, they have an easy schedule. Let's try to go back and win another national championship again. But I do think a lot of people are worried regarding the driving and speeding issues. You know, it's not even so much just because this sort of gets lost on social media. I know, shocking. It's not even so much the number of speeding tickets they have. I mean, the reality is a lot of young drivers speed. Yeah. We all did that. But when it's elevated to street racing or going 80 and a 45, that's sort of next level. That's different than going 75 and a 55, if you follow. And that is where the dangers come in. And that combined with drinking is, you know, what led to the horrible tragedy after the championship parade. And I think that's where the concern is. And I wrote this in the column today because I don't want to put too much on, like, it's not Kirby's fault that players are driving too fast. And I'm going to put the AJC story aside because honestly, I'm not going to comment on another outlet story. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think their comments, Kirby Smart's comments and Josh Brooks' comments and everybody's comments yesterday, and then following up with a 9-page request for corrections is something else they have never seen before. So I think that sort of speaks for itself. But I will focus just on the culture because you've heard that word a lot around Georgia. I don't think they have a bad culture. And I don't think Kirby's a bad guy. I do think it's very natural that when you win consecutive national championships, that there is sort of this level of entitlement. And when it comes to young people, many of whom are driving for the first time, many of whom have money now, by the way, because of NIL, and can afford more expensive fast cars, there's this level of sort of invincibility, and to some degree, maybe the rules and laws and standard codes of conduct don't apply to them. And again, I don't think everybody in this program, all 100 players, whatever it is in this program, this is applicable. But I do think there's some. And my point of view is that for as much as Kirby has said he has done, I think he needs to do more. Louder, more forceful, more discipline. And to some degree, I think he needs to be transparent with what that discipline is. And that's obviously where he disagrees with some people in the media like myself.
Yeah, he's mentioned it yesterday. He says people think things aren't being done; they are being done. We just don't, we're not putting it out there publicly. Let's start to approach it more from a football perspective now, right? Because right now, that question of invincibility is something that I find to be deeply interesting. I always think about ever since we saw here at LSU, right? We saw the incredible 15-0 run out of LSU, national champions, all that, right? And then we saw the very quick downfall. And it called into focus the problems of success, right? Success is not the end of problems. It's just a new set of problems. And it feels like Kirby is dealing with that right now. Do you think he's well-equipped, like in the way that Nick Saban has been able to keep, and even Nick Saban's lost it at times where players were maybe unmotivated or had to kind of be kicked in the ass at a certain point? Like, is Kirby able, he always talks about getting the guys to eat off the floor. Is he going to be able to maintain that same attitude when they have all the new facilities, they have all the NIL money, they have all the nice tables to eat off of, and they've won 2 natties in a row, and they don't even have a schedule that demands any attention?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, a great point, and I don't know that it's going to affect them on the field this year. I really don't, because they're so good, they're so deep, they're recruiting, and their schedule is just god-awful. They should be able to sleep their way to the SEC championship game. They're going to win a lot of games this year. I'll probably get myself in trouble with a lot of your listeners there in Louisiana. I view Georgia and to some degree what Alabama even went through as more stable situations than what LSU was. And so I don't think Georgia is a program that's run amok, that's teetering or on the brink of falling off a cliff. I think they're too good, they're too deep, they have too many resources. The biggest question, the joke was Georgia had a press conference yesterday and nobody asked who the quarterback was going to be. I mean, well, there's a change of pace. But I do think that there's a significant possibility, and I didn't even address this in the column, that he might have to churn through some players. Again, not to typecast, but sometimes when you get a lot of 5-star recruits, let's say, those guys come with a certain attitude. Some of it is the good kind of attitude you want. Some of it is not the good kind of attitude you want. And I do think there's a filtering process maybe that sometimes has to be ratcheted up. Mark Richt ran through some players because there was a bad part of the Richt era. And here's absolutely the greatest, purest, finest human being I've ever known. And he understood that there were some issues that just got out of control with driving or arrests or whatever it was. And he had to dismiss some guys. And Georgia has dismissed some guys that are smart. But I could see where that might increase, at least for the short term, where he might have to churn through some guys to send a message. But I don't see Georgia as being in trouble or anything like that.
Yeah, Jeff, I guess for me, when I look at, what Kirby's been able to do there, the mentality that he's instilled in his players. I mean, I was covering the national championship game last year out in L.A., and every player that I talked to, I'm like, how did he make you think you're an underdog this season? Like, how did he get you to have that mindset? So I know he's got the ear of the team. So when you have 11 different incidents, I'm like, how can you have that many times where the same thing keeps happening over and over again, knowing that he's got the ear of the team, knowing that they listen to what he says, and he's trying to put a stop to it? That's been maybe the most surprising thing to me. Yeah,
and by the way, if your 11 reference was to 7 sexual misconduct situations. We don't know that ever happened. We know that the AJC wrote that, but we only know of 3 or 4. So again, I want to put that aside for a minute. But in terms of traffic and him or speeding situations, he has said it, and I don't know the answer. I don't know why the message hasn't gotten through, and that's one thing I talked to him about yesterday, and he acknowledged it hasn't gone through, and he has to change and do something better. And I think doing something better or different is basically getting tougher. And the reason I threw out, and I know Kirby's very sensitive about this because he and I have talked about this a few times in terms of transparency issues. His whole position on being transparent with what the punishment is, basically is that he thinks the kid is being punished twice. In other words, player A is arrested for street racing. Everybody knows about it. He's humiliated, and then they'll take care of the discipline inside. He believes that if they announce the discipline, that it's sort of punishing him twice. My issue is that there are some people out there who might say, well, how do we even know if you're really disciplining the kid and taking this seriously if we don't know what you're doing? And, I mean, is he just running steps? What exactly is he doing? Are you actually suspending him a player? Suspending him a game? Say it now. And I just think that kind of messaging is important. I understand his position, but I also think in certain situations and in imperfect worlds, which is what we're living in right now, I think, you need to change.
All right, Jeff, since we have you on, I grew up a massive Atlanta Braves fan, so I've seen a bunch of your work. Just had the All-Star game last night. The Braves' best record in baseball. Looked like they were certainly built for another title run, and, I mean, doing it with a lot of their rotation has been on the IL most of the year. So, I mean, we might even see a better Braves team, even though they had the best record in the MLB in the second half.
Yeah. And, even though I'm 37, I remember those. I remember those teams in the 90s very well. And there were many years when they went into the postseason thinking they're going to win a World Series. They ended up winning 1 out of 14 years, I think.
Yeah.
But this team has hit on a level that I've never seen before, and they're. Even more remarkably, their starting pitching has held up despite losing Max Fried and Kyle Wright. It looks like they're going to get Max Fried back. Wow. If they get Max Fried back at his usual level, I don't see them losing, but strange things happen in the postseason. And the other thing I think to look out for is a lot of guys here in the first half had career or close to career first halves. I'm talking about offensively. And the question is how many of those guys can continue that pace. If they continue that pace, they're going to be really hard to beat. And if Max Fried comes back, now you got him and Strider and throw in a number of third starters in your set. So they're going to be really hard, but we've seen strange postseasons, and so I'm not going to go to Vegas and make a bet, put it that way.
Jeff Schultz, senior writer for The Athletic, the 37-year-old legend, so accomplished for a man of just 37. Jeff, thank you so much, man. You have a great morning.
Thanks. It was fun, guys.
All right. When we get back here in OTB, let's update the draft. As MLB draft is now over, Jake, and at least one major pitcher from last year already confirming he'll be back in Baton Rouge. More next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, 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 allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. So they're off our airline highway. And, well, actually, go to the website first. Or you can just go see them off airline. But the website's a great place to start to explore maybe the selection that they're for you. Remember, when you buy from All Star Toyota, you get that wonderful Toyota warranty. But that's even with those Toyota certified used vehicles. So if you want maybe something more affordable that's been used before, but you still want the peace of mind of knowing that you're covered in case anything goes wrong, All Star Toyota has your back. They're the best. I love them. They're huge supporters of the show. If you love Off the Bench, go support All Star Toyota, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Yeah, go check out those rentals as well. Vacation time is right now. Maybe you've got a tournament that you've got to go down to. You got more sports equipment in the back. You don't have enough room. Go rent you a Sienna today, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
is a taco more than just a taco when it's Government Taco? Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way.
It's on. Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Ronnie Rance is going to join us to talk Rougarou, and we'll react to the entirety of the Major League Baseball draft. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
What's that? I hear angels singing.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. 2023 MLB Draft has concluded. Here's a tweet from Glenn West, our guy Glenn. A record 13 players drafted from the championship roster. 4 high school signees also taken. Agenhausen, Milazzo, and Hayden Travinski are a few names to watch on the UDFA market. Names that could be back. Of course, I would think Travinski would come back. But according to Leah Van and The Advocate, it is confirmed the big lefty, Nate Agenhausen, going to be back next season. Big time, man. Who could forget Agenhausen's contributions this year? I think we too often forget, Jake, that when LSU's bullpen was struggling the most, Agenhausen was out, right? And then it was his return. And when he initially returned, he had to get back into the flow. Like, he had a couple shaky outings early on. But when he returned and got back to being the early Nate Agenhausen, that's when you saw the bullpen recover. He wasn't the sole cause of it, but it was a big piece of it. And then who could forget the legendary start back against the wall, going against, was it Beam? Yeah, it was Beam, right, in the Tennessee game? And just putting together that 6-inning masterpiece that he did to help LSU keep their championship hopes alive, which they later came through. So massive, massive get. Lefty, huge bullpen like that. That's just great for LSU next season.
Yeah, you're starting to wonder because there was a lot of guys still on the board available yesterday, and then they started to really go in waves. And some of the guys, you're like, okay, well, would that person entertain maybe coming back? Would LSU entertain having that player back because maybe they didn't think that they would be available? So you started to see some of those names fly off the board. I thought we would see his name, but you don't, and that is a massive, massive get. Obviously, to have a guy like that who has College World Series not only experience, but went out there and did what he did in the College World Series, that is going to be, just vital from the get-go and in the offseason as well, like with any young player that's coming up.
And then for the big recruits, like we talked about before, Jake Brown, the Gatorade Player of the Year, #1 player overall and lefty in the state of Louisiana, was drafted in the 16th round. While there's no 1,000% confirmation, the overwhelming belief is that Jake Brown's number was not met by the Rangers and that he will be on campus come fall time. The other name we've been talking about for days now, Cam Johnson, does finally end up getting drafted. However, it was in the 20th round by the St. Louis Cardinals. So a bit of a flyer there. Mm-hmm. And now the Cardinals have to see, okay, can we cobble together enough money to get the #2 overall lefty in the nation, according to PerfectGame.com, to go play pros, or will he be on campus? It feels like it's leaning towards LSU, but it's not done yet.
Hey, Cardinals, you don't have enough money. Just tell him.
Yeah.
It's fine. You don't have the money.
Cam, you need more money than that.
Yeah.
I'm joining the G team, bro.
Exactly.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to AccuTempBR.com. AccuTemp of Baton Rouge. Service to the highest degree. Hey, it's a little hot in here today, huh? We should take control of our comfort zone, huh? Should call AccuTemp and take advantage of that 5-star service. Go look at the reviews that AccuTemp has online and understand that's because they give you service to the highest degree. That's their core ethos, their mission statement, their guiding light, their North Star, if you will. And, well, you reap the benefits, okay? Because you're the one that gets the service. So, all your AC, heating, electrical needs, ask about the Star Club membership, AccuTemp Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com.
I'm pretty sure Guiding Light was a soap opera back in the day. I have to do some research on that during the break, but I don't have to research AccuTemp because I know if I did, it would be 5-star reviews across the board. That's what you're going to get when you have AccuTemp out to the house. So go schedule that appointment online today, AccuTempBR.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales service and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $25,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Wednesday, July 12th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 94. Coming up on OTBOT, we talk to LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson at 9:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. OTBOT, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB, hour number 3. We got Jay Johnson coming up in 30 minutes. Coach Jay live recruiting on the West Coast. Looks like we accidentally kicked off some soap opera talk in the chat.
Well, as I'm doing some research, Guiding Light, it was a television soap opera. It is listed in the Guinness World Records as the 3rd longest running drama in television in American history. Guiding Light aired on CBS for 57 years between June 30th, 1952 and September the 18th of 2009, overlapping a 19-year broadcast on the radio between 1937 and 1956.
I mean, why stop?
72 years on radio and TV combined.
But, like, why stop? Like, why'd they stop in 09? Like, you're already 57 years in, right? Like, keep some sort of skeleton crew, minimal investment, like, just the ratings couldn't have been that bad, right? Like, just keep it going. I'm shocked.
Why are they in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the 3rd longest running show?
Wow.
And what's the 1st and 2nd?
No, but I just think that's weird. Like, you're the 3rd and you're in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Wait,
so you don't actually have the record.
Well, but a lot of time, did y'all ever get the Guinness Book of World Records, like the actual book back in the day, like book fairs and stuff?
Yeah, at elementary.
Well, a lot of times they will have like 2nd and 3rd place finishers at least mentioned in there. Who's the longest running show?
I think this is the longest. General Hospital has 59 seasons.
Damn.
Days of Our Lives has 56. As the World Turns has 54.
What about the Young and the Restless? A lot of Young and Restless talk.
Yeah, that's been around since the 70s. I realized that the other day. I had no idea that show is that old.
The Price is Right has 50. I knew it was old. Didn't know it was that old.
The price is wrong. These movies are still good. Happy Gilmore. And
Happy
Billy
Gilmore
Madison.
is.
That one is for sure.
Billy Madison, just insane. I'd encourage a rewatch just to see if you still.
I don't need to. I know it's good.
Like, I'm trying to find the Young and the Restless, okay?
Well, Nookie says Meet the Press has been going on for 75 years. That's pretty wild. Oh, crap. Okay, here's what I want to talk about. So wait, did anybody have a chance yesterday to read the Bohannon article from Pat Forty on Brad Bohannon and Neff, the Little League coach? What's his first name? Jeffrey Neff? His last name's Neff. I'm just going to call him Neff. But the gambling
Snuffed
scandal
up.
that...
Bert Neff.
Bert Neff. There
Bert
we go.
Neff.
I know.
Bert Neff.
I know.
That honestly sounds like a made-up name.
What a
Bert.
stupid name.
Imagine
Sounds
you
like
work-
a character on The Simpsons.
Imagine you work in the casino window and a guy named Bert comes up with $100,000, well over the house limit.
Says he has inside
Of
info.
course, you're
Yeah.
calling somebody to say it's sketchy.
So what Mario's getting at there, and again, I want to be clear about Bohannon. He's an idiot for being friends with an idiot and for giving information to an idiot that he should not have. There is no proof, and I still find it hard to believe that Bohannon was using this as a money-making scheme, right? He was making over $500K a year to be Alabama head coach. So but he obviously, look, Neff is someone who, Jake, I guess, was a baseball player back in the day. According to the article, he's just a complete slapdick. He squandered his talent, just wasted it. He was a very powerful lefty, never came through. And then he got into travel baseball, and he basically became one of those smarmy kind of recruiting connection guys, you know?
Yeah.
Like the guys that you maybe need to have somewhat of a relationship with because they can give you some leads or help push kids your direction at times. But at the end of the day, you're like, man, I really don't like he's a big like high level travel baseball guy, which it's a culture that I don't know that I love. So I guess through that, Bohannon had a relationship with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but he decided to text him on an encrypted, which this looks really dumb for Bohannon as well, on an encrypted texting app. It was like, it wasn't WhatsApp, but it was
something similar.
It's a texting app where they cannot pull your, I'm guessing it's like using like a VPN or something, right?
Yeah.
If you want to hide your IP, hide where you're actually accessing the internet from. I imagine you cannot pull those texts.
Drug dealers use this.
Like anybody that doesn't want their text read, you can
said
use
that
this.
quick, Mario.
I'm just saying.
Real quick.
Yeah, that's true. You did. I mean, but it's a good point. Nonetheless. But here's that's maybe the smartest thing that Neff did was use an encrypted app, because everything after that is so incredibly stupid that it boggles the mind. Like, you either had to be, like, it would make more sense if he was blackout drunk with the series of decisions he made, because after Bohannon, for whatever reason, decided to text Neff on this encrypted app about the starter who's now visiting LSU. What's his name again?
Was it Mario? Was it you that pointed that out yesterday in the group chat? The pitcher who got scratched from that start is
Brody Miller tweeted about
Friday
it.
night start.
Yes.
Brody Miller tweeted about it. He's on a visit to LSU right now. The pitcher who got scratched. So Bohannon texts Neff that he gets scratched. Neff immediately, who already had an account at the casino as a losing gambler, immediately took $100K in cash. Which, again, how does a travel baseball coach have $100K in cash ready to go like that, greasy all around? Took $100K in cash to the window and tried in Cincinnati and tried to place it on the LSU Alabama game, a game which had nearly no action. In fact, in some sports books, it had zero action.
Like major sports books.
Yeah, like major sports books that are available in Louisiana, where LSU fans would have been betting on the game, and yet didn't have a single bet. And this man tries to place $100K. Not only is that well above any limits that are allowed on college baseball in most books, not only should you be smart enough to realize that if you do an outlier play like that, you're immediately going to trigger all the AI monitoring systems that look at that. But then the coup de grace is that he was intimating to the person at the window that he had inside information while texting Bohannon in clear view of the camera. So he has the $100K on the desk. He's sitting there texting Bohannon, telling the person to place the bet, and the camera zooms in and reads the text messages, and that's how Bohannon got caught.
Could have saved Ryan Bohannon is something different that could have prevented all this too. Just so much stupid here.
By the way, the pitcher's name is Luke Holman.
Yeah, there you go, Luke Holman.
Bro, you were making $500,000 a year to coach college baseball, and you're throwing out some inside info to a buddy to go bet. Like, and the odds with Paul Skeens on the mound, like, what was LSU probably?
They had to be huge
minus
favorites, right?
3.
Well, because it was later in the year, so like everybody knew about Paul Skeens at this point.
So what was your return going to even be?
I don't.
On your $100,000.
Probably what? 60K?
And the dumbest part is,
not even that.
It got sketchy.
If it's like minus 300, you get $30,000. So 100 to win 130.
But the dumbest part is, like, you still can never know in college baseball. Like, it got sketchy at the end. Remember, LSU was winning big. It was chilling. And then slowly but surely, Alabama was putting more and more on. They were scoring. The night I was at that West Monroe baseball game watching, I was kind of like, what the hell, man? So it's just, Neff's a complete idiot. Just a complete idiot. Like, impressive. It's the old, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed with how idiotic he is. And now the fallout's been pretty good. What I don't get about
The Oddfather has the odds. He heard us talking.
Oh, okay, there we go.
It was minus 225 to minus 240. So a little bit better odds than I thought, but still.
The other part about all of this is that Bohannon has an MBA from Wake Forest.
Yeah.
So, like, he's not book dumb, but he's obviously street dumb or functionally dumb, I guess you could say. And I guess team didn't like it that much because look what happened after he left. The team got super hot and went on a major run. But way? Because he's probably gonna get banned from college baseball. Like he'll probably never be allowed to coach again.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
What an idiot. What a complete idiot.
Speaking of like the baseball, travel ball culture, that's what he's going to be doing now.
Yeah. Like
he's a travel ball coach now.
I hope you like travel ball because that's where
he's going to start some batting cages wherever he's from.
Yeah, it's a Signal app. That's the man. It's unreal. Unreal dumb.
Again, not to even win that much money. That's like if it was inside info and you had like a plus 260. Okay. All right.
But isn't that like what the
I know, yeah. Oh, sharps, they do it all. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what the sharps do. And Neff obviously thought he was a sharp.
Yeah.
And he's just an idiot. Because like a sharp will put massive amounts in. It's like you see some of those bets, like somebody put $40,000 on Alabama to beat Citadel. They only win like $300, but it's like, yes, but that's basically just saying print $300 for me now.
Those guys will never go out to the window and say, I have inside info.
No.
Dumbest thing you can do.
Okay, to be clear, the article read that he intimated that he had inside info. So I don't think he walked up and said, guys, I got a hot tip. But
I mean, he could have done the thing where he pointed his phone. He's like, hey.
Like, you got to place this bet.
I got to place this bet.
Trust me, dude. I got it.
One of the worst beats that I have of the odds being just outlandish, and you just put. We've got a buddy, and I'll tell you T-Bob who it is during the break, but they have built up to like 18 grand in their account, and they put it all on Argentina to beat Saudi Arabia in the opening round of the World Cup. Put it all, $18,000 to I forget what they would have won. I mean minimal comeback. Saudi Arabia beats Argentina. But then Argentina goes and wins the World Cup.
Yeah, man, that's
the only game they lost was to Saudi Arabia, where our boy put 18 G's on it to get minimal return. Lose that game, he loses the money, and then they go win the whole thing.
Has he stopped gambling?
No.
Oh my God, that's an all-time bad beat.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the extra salt in the wound of Argentina ending up winning the entire thing. Wow, that's awful.
I gotta see what the line. 2-1 was.
Have we not explored whether or not the public investment fund got to Argentina that game?
It was minus 675.
Jeez.
So he would go on like 2K, 3K around there, something like that. Somewhere in between 2 and 3. Sheesh, yikes.
I mean, because $675 would have won you 100.
So just divided by 6. It would have been around like 2 to 3K.
Yeah.
And you lose 18. My stomach hurts.
How long would you be down and out after that?
Like I said, I think I would just quit gambling. Yeah. I think I would just delete all the apps and just say, all right, I'm done. I'm freaking done. All right, when we get back, more OTB. We got Jay Johnson coming up 9:30.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Right here. We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street. Now for the 5th year in a row, voted best taco in town by 225 Magazine, and it is the best taco. They've also got quesadillas now and brunch tacos that are incredible. And when it comes to tacos on Government Street, not only are these better with better ingredients, they're cheaper and the service is faster. Not to mention the margaritas aren't $20. Government Taco margaritas are also the best, and they're mixed by hand. And happy hour is from 3 to 6 every day. Government Taco, the best taco in town. 5621 Government Street.
Cut through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Pluckers. We've got all the recap and reaction to the MLB draft, and the Big 12 kicks off college football's talking season with Big 12 Media Days. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I was raced off Route 3, out past where the blacktop ends. We'd walk to church on Sunday morning, race barefoot back to Johnson's.
Hudco Roofing brings you live coverage of the 2023 SEC Football Media Days, Monday, July 17th through Thursday, July 20th. Find highlights from the week on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Remember, our coverage also brought to you locally by Rev Business.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, we got Jay Johnson coming up. Next segment.
3-1 greatness there, Brooks and Dunn.
For now, Chad has given me the worst beat that I've ever seen in my entire life. I know that we
Worse than Argentina, Saudi Arabia?
Easily. I know that we probably, and it's funny because it involves you in a tangential way. Not you specifically, but it can relate to you. I'm sure we talked about this at the time, but during last year's NFL playoffs, when the Chargers were up 27-0, everybody loves live betting, right?
Yeah.
When the Chargers were up 27-0, a person, a human being, placed a $1.4 million bet on the Chargers money line at minus 12,500 odds. 1.4 million, that would have won $11,000.
Oh my God.
And he lost 1.4 million.
If he just would have called me,
why would
I
you do
would
that
have
on the
told
Chargers?
him the Chargers are notorious for
Why?
What?
Yeah, dude.
The Bush League Bolts is real. I love them. It's part of who I am. But they're going to hurt you every single time. What?
Yeah, bro. To win, and I get it because that's the printing money thing we're talking about. Like that's $11,000 you wouldn't have, but that's too long. It's too long about it.
The
It's
juice
too
is
pointless.
not worth the squeeze.
Oh
what
my
are we
God.
doing?
The first comment on this Reddit thread, brother, what in the F is that decision making? I mean, that is
My brother
is
in
so
Christ,
true.
if you would have just,
That's what I
listen
don't get.
to any sports radio show.
Any other NFL team 27-0, I'd be like, okay.
Yes,
I
yes.
that sucks, but like, I kind of get it. But like, you chose the literal worst team to back there.
Yeah.
Like the only team that could find a way to lose that game, you decided to back, and you got burned for it immediately.
In the AFC, the Chargers. In the NFC, the Falcons.
Thank you. We had to mention Atlanta, especially after what the NFL posted yesterday.
Yeah. So the NFL, what did the NFL do yesterday?
They posted the full game of the Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl, where they infamously blew.
Just the entire game on Twitter now.
Yes, the entire game.
They didn't post Cowboys 49ers playoffs from last year, did they?
No.
Okay, then we're good.
Yes, nobody cares about the Cowboys.
Which NFL game hurt y'all the most?
Well, not that one because the 49ers were better.
In your lifetime.
I mean,
as a fan.
Easy
It's
answer
still
would
the
be,
no call.
yeah, but the River City relay hurt a lot at the time, too. The lateral play, John Carney misses the extra point.
Yes.
Saints would have went to the playoffs.
How did he do that? The
Yeah.
Jim Henderson call is legendary.
It's legendary.
No!
Like the high, I remember, like I wasn't even like that much into football back then. Honestly, I was young, but like I remember my parents and family's reaction. Like people are throwing stuff, and then that happened.
Yeah.
Like my God, man.
Yeah, that one hurt because I grew up a Saints fan as well, and we didn't have a lot. We didn't have a
Exactly.
lot. Like to have a moment where you could cheer and be excited and maybe poke your chest out a little bit because you got all these little Cowboys fans, Taylor, walking around, and you lost that moment. So yeah, that one certainly comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean that one hurts, but to me, man, I mean the no call is just because of what was on the line and because of how obvious it was and everything else. Like you're going to the Super Bowl.
What about
You're
against the
going to
Vikings?
Second Super Bowl, and then I was gonna say, and then second, it's got to be the Minnesota Miracle because those are two plays that induce fan PTSD.
Yeah.
To where now, whenever you watch the Saints for the rest of your lives, especially the Minnesota Miracle, you will never feel out the woods. Like you will always have that creeping doubt in the back of your mind that things could still go awry. I mean, you had Sean Payton turned around making choking motions at the Minnesota crowd. That's how sure victory was. That is the 99% beat. You know, the 1% beat that we were just talking about, the less than 1%. Like you had this incredible comeback. You had that game won, and then you didn't. And it sticks with you, and it'll never change. But then, I mean, I remember going on vacation right after no call, and we went to Colorado, and it was all anybody was talking about. As soon as they found out you were from Louisiana, they were basically like apologizing to you. Like,
As they should.
Where do y'all think the one that I had to suffer kind of falls? The Mile High Miracle, where the Ravens throw it down the sidelines. There's 30 seconds left. We're up 7, and deeper than the deepest did not happen. They score. We go in double overtime. They win the game, go on and win the Super Bowl. We had beaten them by 3 touchdowns 3 weeks before that.
And y'all were number 1 in both offense and defense that year? Was that the year? Or no,
that was the Chargers year. But we were the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Ugh.
Yeah. And
then the Broncos would also go on to win a Super Bowl later with Peyton.
Yeah.
So You not only had the Ravens win a Super Bowl that year, but then the team eventually got that. Yeah, that's a
that's a bad one.
It's a brutal boy to swallow.
Yeah,
For me, I'd go the Dez catch and no catch game. Yeah, which I never thought was a catch, just objectively. But
no.
That's the Aaron Rodgers game, right?
That's the Aaron. Well, and so the winner.
Bro, it's definitely a catch. By the way, don't be an idiot.
The winner of that game went to the NFC Championship.
Yeah,
and that was like I've never seen the Cowboys have any postseason success.
Good.
So like that would have been like my moment. It's like. Yeah, I didn't think the Cowboys were that great that year, but like you get to the NFC Championship, anything can happen, you know. Then you're playing for a Super Bowl, and like that was one that was like so close, and you just missed out on.
Yeah, that's the farthest Taylor ever got as a Cowboys fan. Like he's never seen them in the NFC Championship game, so that had to hurt.
Good.
I
Let's
agree.
keep it that way. I hope that never changes for the rest of my life here on Earth.
I thought they had the Vikings that one year. The Cowboys had a good team, but the Vikings smoked them, and then the Saints beat them.
Screw Kyle Rudolph, too. We're talking Vikings, too.
All right, cool. Let's move on to a different team. Let's stop talking about the Cowboys' failures.
I can't wait.
I've had plenty of them. Look, I have to be the only player in NFL history that has been on 2 teams that have won 11 games in a row, gotten the #1 seed, and didn't win a playoff game.
And didn't win a playoff game. God,
We lost to
so
the
much
Jets,
good work just
17 to
thrown away.
10, and then we lost to the Mile High Miracle there.
What year did you lose to the Jets?
9, I think 2009.
Their first.
Did they go to the? Was that the AFC
They went
Championship
to
team?
the AFC Championship
Their
game.
first
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Who would have been the Colts? In
I
9?
don't even know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
You got the Saints one, right?
Yeah. It was
Well,
Colts.
so the Jets actually went the next year too
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
against the Steelers.
Yeah. Rex Ryan had it rolling for a hot minute
Yeah,
there, dude.
2 years in a row.
And Flacco had a pretty legendary playoff run. Like it definitely should have ended right there.
Well, not
but
pretty legendary. Maybe
got him
the, I mean,
paid.
one of the. I mean, 11 touchdowns
Yeah.
and no picks.
And yeah,
Like,
he was awesome.
No pretty needed. He had a legendary playoff.
Exactly. Not on par with what he's done the rest of his career and definitely after that. But that playoff run he had was something serious, man. It culminated in New Orleans.
And dude, we had.
He threw the lights out.
Yeah.
We had Matt Prater, a kicker that can make it from Colorado Springs. We had 30-something seconds left with a timeout, and we take a knee.
That's coward BS.
Oh my gosh, I still
don't remember
get
that.
mad
That's
at
coward BS.
Like, hey, you got Peyton Manning, the #1 offense in the NFL.
Is that Foxy?
Yeah, let's go see if we can, get 2 first downs and see if Prater can kick one from the logo.
What happened to being crazy like a fox?
I think he was tied for the NFL record before Tucker broke it.
Yeah, he broke Tom Dempsey's record, which stood for the longest time.
Yeah.
It should have been a fireable offense. Maybe not because they ended up winning the Super Bowl, but that's
Well, he got fired the next year. He wasn't Super Bowl.
Oh, he won the Super Bowl? Okay, there
No,
you go.
Kubiak was, right?
Kubiak
Yeah, oh,
was.
yeah. What a win for Kubiak, dude. Are you
Foxy
kidding me?
was the one that against Seattle
Yeah.
got blown out.
Gary Kubiak just comes in and swoops and gets a Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Texans, right? Also, Kubiak? What's Kubiak doing nowadays?
Good question.
Is it a good question? I don't actually know.
I know. I'm curious where he
No,
is.
I mean, but does anybody
No, he had
actually
some
care
health-
what
he
Gary
had some,
Kubiak's doing?
He had some health concerns.
Yeah, I know that. He had some heart stuff that he had to get worked on. A lot of these coaches do, man. It's a high stress job. When we get back, let's talk to one of our favorite coaches, also a champion. That's Jay Johnson here on OTB.
OTB, OT.
Get Gordon.
Oh, that felt
How
like
about that?
like a 1990s, like nice little commercial, little remix.
Get Gordon and get it done today. Today. Gordon McKernan injury return is 225-888-8888. Join the G team. Look, go online at Get Gordon on social media, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. They get great content coming out, man. Great tips for, like driving, what to do if you get in an accident. They also have great content about your favorite LSU players. As in the NIL space, the G team reigns supreme. And you can watch sit-downs with Mason Smith, Flage, Angel Reese, all of them and more. This LSU baseball team, right? We talked to Kay Below, so he's on the G. Join him, 888-8888.
Yeah, to find out what they can do for you, go to getgordon.com. You can see on the website cases they can handle, past client results, all there at your fingertips. And T-Bob gave you the number. Any area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Rev Business started small in 1935. We built our reputation by providing hometown service with Louisiana hustle. For nearly 90 years, we've expanded across our great state, through the swamps and across the Mississippi, bringing fiber optics from the capital to the North Shore and down the bayou to the coast, all to connect your business with the world. Rev is about big business technology with small business personal service, powerful solutions, unmatched local service. Rev Business.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird.
It's on. Join me for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Rugerani Rants is going to join us to talk Rougarou, and we'll react to the entirety of the Major League Baseball draft. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Here we go. It is my distinct pleasure. We were talking for a couple minutes about a week ago. It's been a whirlwind couple of weeks for this man. But I'm talking about your head coach of LSU baseball, your national championship winning head coach of LSU baseball, Coach Jay Johnson. Join us from the West Coast, where my guy's out there recruiting. The grind never stops. You saw him on the MLB Draft Network, the coverage the other night. Coach, what's going on, man? Thanks for waking up with us.
Absolutely. How you guys doing?
How are you doing? We're doing well. I mean, we're doing great, dude. You gave us
a lot of summer talk here.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, summer's normally the doldrums. You knocked out. You gave us the most fun June I can remember ever doing this job. But how are you doing now? And with a couple of weeks to kind of digest the run, now the draft, where's your head at?
It's like you got to take a minute each day to remind yourself what we accomplished for sure, because otherwise it's like, what are you doing if you don't enjoy that? And then, you know, in my nature, it's full speed ahead. Like, what's next? Let's get moving. And so that's what the last few days have been relative to the draft and kind of shaping next year's roster, all of those types of things.
It's just unreal, man. And we all know about your work ethic, right? It has been written about plenty, talked about plenty, and we know that it is unceasing. And in that way, it's like a lot of the other great coaches, right? Whether it's like Belichick chanting no days off, we know about Nick, like all these sorts of guys. One thing that's interesting to me, Coach, is the idea of the problems of success, right? That when you finally achieve that national championship, problems don't go away, they kind of change. How much thought have you put into that, like to keeping the team hungry, right? To not being satisfied. Like have you done research into how to manage things like that?
Yeah, I think a couple of things have come to mind right away. Just as looking at it, it's like you want to take some of the things from this year that were really positive in terms of the team, and then you want to emulate some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the most important thing that next year's team will need to do will be able to forget about this year's team. And there'll be a time to do that. Right now, we're kind of already in that process of, there's a lot of roster things that go along with the draft and putting that together and constructing that. The players, most of them are out in summer ball already, guys getting at bats and those types of things. And, logistically, starting to set the course for the fall. And, that was the thing about this team that, we won the national championship in June, but it's a really consistent effort, for some guys over 2 years to get to that point. They were national champions, each day long before we won the national championship. So you have to repeat that process, and kind of my, blueprint, if you will, within the program for the coaching staff is recruit. You have to continue to do that. Develop. You have to continue to do that. Win. That focus means focusing on what's important now. And then the last element of that is you have to keep repeating that. Like there's no stepping off the treadmill if you want to continue to be successful. So, we'll get into all those things. I think right now it's just we're in what I would call the first inning of the year, if that makes sense, of putting all that together.
Coach, the MLB baseball draft, there's uncertainty. It's not like the NFL draft. Like for me, I was the 69th pick. I knew what the slot value was going to be. I couldn't really negotiate that. It is what it is. Baseball draft, we know it's completely different. You can have players selected all over the place, and they might go because the number is right, and everybody kind of lets their number be known. So I want to ask you, like, for your players that have eligibility left, they could come back to LSU. Do you have that conversation with them before the draft? Is it during the draft? Is it after the draft? Is it all of the above? Like, what's that conversation like for a player that you're not really sure, is he going to be drafted high enough or get the value that he wants as far as coming back to school or going to the minor leagues?
Yeah, it's all of the above. I think, and it depends on the player and what's best for the player, differs from guy to guy. Obviously those guys that went on the first day, I mean, it's no brainer. They're moving on.
Right.
I think we had, arguably like $23 million in signing bonuses between the four players the first day. So that's awesome. And that's why they come to school. Then you moved into the second day, and it's like Trey Morgan was one of the best players still available and went very early, in round 3. So it's Trey's time. He'll be fast. The big leagues, you go. Gavin Dugas, I mean, he's worked for 5 years to get that opportunity. I couldn't be happier for him. He's a senior anyways. He moves on. And then the next day, it wasn't a lot of surprises, to be honest with you. I would only say maybe one of all of them. But, Riley Cooper, I mean, that's 3 years. I mean, us together, we think we won more games than anybody in college baseball over the last 3 years. And we won a national championship. He needs to go. You know what I mean? Like he's accomplished a lot in college baseball. Braden Gilbert, I'm so proud of him. The improvements he made from last year to this year, he needed to do that to put himself in this position. Like he needs to go. And then there's guys, at the end of it, Javen Coleman, Christian Little, like we'll see where that lands.
Right.
That's far from, being over whether they're going to go or return. And we'll have those conversations here over the next couple of weeks. So it's a little bit of all of that. Yeah, and I mean, you don't have to speak on this. I don't know if you can or not, but saw Nate Ackenhausen expected to come back. That's excellent. Let's go back to the opening of the draft, Coach, because you were on the network, the MLB network. Obviously, just massive recruiting, advertising value, whatever you want to say, when you get to sit up there and break down not just the first, but the second overall pick in the MLB draft.
How did it feel to be a part of history and then be able to kind of almost like immediately leverage it there and be like, hey, like this is why you should come to LSU?
No, I'm just laughing because it was a pretty crazy moment. Super proud of those guys. And honestly, the winners in this thing were the Pirates and the Nationals.
Yeah,
As I'm going through this thing, you hear all these things and like kind of being involved with that telecast the way I was, like everybody's talking about all this stuff and I'm going like, wait a minute. The one thing we haven't heard is the best pitcher on the planet in the last 15 years is going number one to the Pirates. So I'm like, Paul's going number one. Like that's the way that it is. If that's, nobody has said that. And then, Dylan, there's no way. I mean, I knew the Nationals were going to take one of the two either way. So it's just a matter of if the Pirates took one of them, that they would go 1 and 2, and then to get to kind of celebrate that on that form was pretty awesome. I actually called them both earlier in the day and like, hey, man, you just enjoy this. Just know that I'm going to be smiling deep inside for you, and we'll talk later. But so awesome, and both those guys so deserving.
Coach, when you look at the history of not only SEC baseball but NCAA baseball, there's so many firsts for LSU this year. Like, even Dylan being the first back-to-back Player of the Year in the SEC, and then in the MLB draft to have the first ever first and second picks coming from the same school, and you're talking about it there. Like, how big can that be on the recruiting trail? So many firsts for this LSU program. People understand the resources, the buy-in from the fans around LSU baseball, and now you have just another tool on your tool belt to be able to go out there and recruit to.
Well, it's everything. And, it's always been part of my, develop a program plan, if you will, is like today, the players you're recruiting, like they want to get to that day, Sunday night. Like that's their number one goal, whether anybody wants to hear that or not. And so what a better advertisement than showing them, you could come here, you can win the national championship. And, it's the first position player taken in the last two drafts has been from LSU. The number one pick was a pitcher from LSU. The first college player the last 2 years have been guys that have transferred in the last 2 years to LSU. So you can't really quantify that. I take a lot of pride in developing players and developing a program that can develop players. And I think there's no better example of that than what everybody saw these last 3 days.
Well, and it's interesting that you use the word develop, Coach, because that's exactly where I wanted to go next, because I remember when you first took the job, I believe like the first meeting that you had with the players with Gavin Dugas, and you already had like a plan ready to go. Like, hey, like I've watched your film. Here's what I would do if I got to work with you. Here's how we would help you improve. And of course, Dugas ended up coming back, but I have to imagine that you do that for quite a few players, and sometimes those players end up going to the pros or they go elsewhere. Like how much do you ever all get like discouraged by the idea of I don't know if I'd call it wasted work, but like do you put together plans for these potential prospects that may end up going to the MLB?
Yeah, for sure. I think the first thing we try to do is educate them on the path and which route is better. Like we had a signee, Blake Mitchell was like I believe he was the 8th pick for the Royals. Mm-hmm. I mean, he got signed for like $6 million. It's a hard argument. Turn that down. It is what it is. But with that being said, we try to educate them on unless you're a first round pick. I'm not talking about sliding past the first round and getting more of a bonus. If you're a top 30 pick, that the team is going to make you kind of the face of their draft, then you kind of got to look at going. The second it goes past that, the data, the numbers will show you, not Coach Johnson or LSU will show you it's a better move to come to college. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty proud of like a few of these recruits that we had. They had a lot of things flying at them and held their ground pretty good. And I think this last team, our team that won the championship, really helped that. I mean, if you're sitting there watching that through the entire postseason and you're watching the regional and super regional at the box, it's like, there's no way you don't want to come play in those kind of games. And then if you watch the Omaha thing, like there's so much value in the experience that you get here. It's like that was better, like sales job than anything I could say is them getting a chance to watch that. So you start there, and then, yeah, I mean, that's part of it. Like, we're going to do a better job than the Philadelphia Phillies, per se, low minor league system of developing you. And it's not just what we're going to teach you, but it's going to class, it's building time management skills, it's growing up, it's playing in games that really matter. And all of those things help players develop, which is why you see way more college players make it to the major leagues than those that sign out of high school.
Hey, Coach, walk me through, because going back to what you said, you have a guy who goes 8th overall, he's in the signing class, but you still have to recruit that player because you just never know how it's going to work out. So when you're recruiting a player like that, he's probably playing for Team USA and he's going to be a first-round pick, but you just don't know. Like, do you have those conversations with your coaching staff? Like, hey, we still got to go out there. We got to put in the time and effort to this player, even though there's a chance he's not coming to us, that we do to any recruit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll remember last spring, Dan Fitzgerald is no longer with us. He's the head coach of Kansas. Like, he went out and saw Chase Shores. And then Jason Kelly, like 3 weeks out, went out and saw Chase Shores. And, thank goodness. I mean, ended up getting hurt, but he had, really good 7 outings. That was a big part of it. And if there's anybody in the program that's going to turn out to be the next Paul Skeens, it's Chase Shores. And so, like, had we not put in that effort, then we wouldn't be looking at a guy, at the back half of next year in 2025 that's going to be one of the best pitchers in the country and probably a top 5 to 10 overall pick. So you have to do that. Cameron Johnson, just same kind of thing. And, you have to have those players to win a national championship, regardless whether anybody wants to hear it. It's like you can't win a national championship anymore unless you have future major leaguers on your roster. And those guys are the best players that decided to come to college. And, we had some of those on our roster that just left us. We have some of those on our roster that just came to us that'll be sophomores next year. And we have a few of those guys coming in. And that's really important to building the program.
The legend, Jay Johnson. Promises made, promises delivered. A spring and summer that I think all of us will never forget. Coach, we release you. Thank you so much. I will no longer be bugging you for a few months, until baseball cranks back up. So enjoy the grind, enjoy the offseason. But most importantly, I hope you do get to ruminate and enjoy the championship as well.
Yes, sir. Look forward to talking to you guys again.
Hey, Coach, real quick before we let you go, I need to see T-Bob Hebert take some BP at the box one time.
We
so
do
like
do that
this
fall.
fall,
If we can do that
if
sometime.
you've got some extra time, I need to see T-Bob take some swings. So if you ever have like an open cage moment, just let us know so we can get T-Bob in there and film it.
I'm throwing nothing but changeups.
I want to see what it's like to face like 90 and stand in the batter's
don't.
box. Yes, I do.
You
I
don't.
want to experience it for myself, dude.
Okay.
Coach, thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Coach.
man.
You guys, Thatcher Hurd's going to strike you out.
Duh. Yes. I want to be terrified of that giant curve coming at my head and then dropping away. More. Okay, that sounds like confirmation to me.
Yeah, it did. We're doing it.
Closing out the show next. Before I do remind you, I had a buddy who was talking to me today, Jake. He's like, man, dude, I got an ear infection. He's asking my doctor friend, do I need to do anything? It's just going to go away. Look, I've learned with ear infections, just go into urgent care. Just go into Patient Plus, okay? You just pop into Patient Plus. Walk-ins are always welcome. You get the antibiotics. You get in. You get better. Your vacation, whatever you're feeling, it's all taken care of. It is restored. The facilities of Patient Plus are going to blow you away. Y'all, they're so nice. They're located all throughout the city. Occupational medicine needs, if you're a business, they got your back. It's just a higher level of quality, both in the service, the doctors and nurses that they employ. There's just an investment there that you don't see elsewhere, and you reap the benefit. So get in, get better. Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com. They also have a great puppet mascot, which you never talk about. I love him.
Yeah, on the billboards, on the commercials.
He's wonderful.
You see him here on our commercials.
Rube's a pretty good actor as well.
Not bad.
I think he does pretty well in the commercials. So Patient Plus Urgent Care, walk-ins always welcome, patientplusuc.com.
OTB, OT.
Go to Riverlands Insurance, 225-206-1517, 225-206-1517. That is Thomas Email's cell phone number. Guys, I know that the economy is not great right now, right? Like we could all use a little extra money in our pocket. I think that's fair to say. You're probably wasting money that you don't need to be on your insurance, right? You call up Thomas, you give him the information. Him and Megan are going to go shopping for you on your behalf. And there's a good chance that they're going to save you hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars a year. And it's because they understand the market and they can look at your home insurance, your auto, your business, like whatever it is, let them do the legwork and you reap the benefits. 225-206-1517.
Well, you call that number, like right now. Call that number. Put it in your phone. Call Thomas. He's going to help you right now. Like regardless of what he's doing, he's going to answer. So call him today, 225-206-1517.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Here at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, we have in stock 2023 Toyota Tundras, and you can get $1,000 special edition bonus cash. $1,000 bonus cash. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to Six Rings Baseball.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. We've got all the recap and reaction to the MLB draft, and the Big 12 kicks off college football's talking season with Big 12 Media Days. Join us 3 to 6, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I was driving through Georgia in late July.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Did you ever do the watermelon crawl in Georgia?
No, what's that?
That's what he's singing about.
Oh, no. I love watermelon, though. My God. Salt and watermelon, undefeated summer treat.
Oh, you put salt on it?
Hell yeah.
I put salt on cantaloupe.
Anything a little sweet and savory. Actually, you know what randomly my wife made as just a little, like, last second, me and her had to throw together the 4th of July meal for the family. She just made little toothpick skewers of watermelon and blueberry. Very simple, very simple. Actually, incredible combination. Love them. Now the past few days, I've just been eating watermelon and blueberries.
I do that with cheese and grapes. Is that weird?
No, that's actually very normal. That's like a charcuterie
toothpick. Get a grape. Get a block of cheese.
No, that is an ancient and revered combination.
Okay, cool.
It feels like you could be back in Roman times having
like wine
some
and cheese.
enslaved enemy feeding
Same
them.
thing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is. That's also sweet and savory.
Yeah.
So it's a good combo. Texture's a bit interesting.
If you're going fat boy sweet and savory, get you a bucket of popcorn, dump some M&Ms in there, swirl it around, and that's sweet and savory.
Ooh, yeah. Or you get you a bucket of, if you want a little savory, you get a bucket of popcorn and just dump some pork belly in there. And just go to town.
McGriddles are the king of this.
There's nothing better than soggy, greasy
McGriddles perfected the sweet and savory.
McGriddles are very good.
McGriddles, they're pretty good.
I think they're very good.
They're a little gimmicky to me. I still prefer just a normal biscuit.
You love a biscuit, though.
I do love
You
biscuit.
love a good biscuit.
The McGriddles has everything, though. It's got the pancake, the egg, the sausage, the bacon, all in one.
You know who actually has everything? The DraftKings Sportsbook app, Taylor. That's who does. So you should go gamble on the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge when you sign up today. You bet $5 on baseball, you get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Remember, though, if you're a returning customer, all customers can always step up their winnings with the DraftKings same-game parlay. So download today. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. Ask the Bench. Brought by Cold Curse Light. Visit our hotels with Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Suite. Let's go drink some Curse.
Light.
OTB. OT.
Rev Business